Welcome into a Friday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered here by Go Chevrolet, as we are every single day. Make sure to hit that like, share, and comment button if you don't mind, as we close out the week and get you set up for the home opener tomorrow with LSU and Southern on LSU's campus. Should be a really cool day for the city. We will be out there moving around. A lot of people already talking about moving around. Watching the weather, though.
Yeah.
Ain't messing around with no rain, man. I mean, it's going to take a lot to get me out of the house on rain. It would almost take, like, Jordan being the starting quarterback for me to make a rain game in Tiger Stadium these days. I mean, I don't know what would really draw me in. Even though tomorrow's going to be cool and it's going to be awesome, if the rain doesn't comply, or if the weather does not comply, maybe not. But hopefully that will not be an issue, as tomorrow sets up for a pretty cool weekend between LSU, Southern, college football weekend. We'll talk all about it coming up here with our crew here this morning. Carpool Queen out until about 8 o'clock. We got Lloyd in. Stewie is here up until 9 a.m. this morning. We're going to eat with our friends over at Iverstein's before we get out of here. Nate Dogg's going to be here giving us a little Hollywood review before the weekend. We'll give you our picks as we go in. Our friends over at Caesar Sportsbook, don't forget to download the app. You see the QR code right above Lloyd's head. Walk your camera up on that QR code. Open up the app. Use the promo code JCLSUFull.
Oh God, I'm lost.
JCLSUFull.
This one.
Follow my
Snatch
pen,
it.
son.
Yes. I'm hot right now.
Right.
Sir,
Yes.
can you
Yes.
please can you walk a straight line?
No.
I'm just gonna get in the back.
Use the promo code JCLSUFull and get inside with our friends over at Caesar Sportsbook. Check out the lines. We got a couple we're monitoring this weekend. We'll tell you who we're playing before we get out of here at 9 a.m. NFL action last night, Thursday night NFL, and wow, Buffalo obliterated the Super Bowl champs 31-10 as they flew the flag last night in Los Angeles. They dropped the banner on the Super Bowl championship from last season in SoFi Stadium, but not a good night for the champs, as Josh Allen threw for nearly 300 yards, accounted for 4 scores, 3 through the air, 1 on the ground. He was 26 of 31. He did have 2 picks last night, but Buffalo looked dominant in Los Angeles. Stephon Diggs caught a touchdown pass right past Jalen Ramsey, was talking trash to him in the end zone. It was a humbling night for the Los Angeles Rams last night as they start their defense of the Super Bowl championship last season, 31-10. NFL action coming up, Atlanta and New Orleans. We'll tell you about it. New Orleans road favorites versus the NFC South rival Falcons. We'll talk a little bit about that game before we get out of here at 9 a.m. this morning. But everybody curious about LSU, right? And Brian Kelly spoke to the press yesterday as he wrapped up his week of media here during game week. We hear from Coach Kelly for the last time each week on Thursdays as he does a press conference before jumping in and taking in his radio show over at TJ Ribs every Thursday night, getting ready for the game. And said a couple of things yesterday as far as some things to look out for on Saturday. Malik Neighbors going to be back deep on punts again. They're going to ride with Malik Neighbors and continue to give him chances to get back there and make plays. So it's interesting to hear that. I wonder if they will work on others tomorrow in game action. People like Sage Ryan, who has been a part of this competition, and a name that we've heard a little bit. Another name that you need to watch out for and has popped up is Javen Nichols. Javen Nicholas. He is a true freshman walk-on from St. Aug, and really made a splash in fall camp, and is somebody that they are looking at to potentially maybe put back deep on punts, or has been catching punts back there, and maybe gets an opportunity if Malik can't get it right, or if they're just trying to workshop the position here before Mississippi State next weekend. Mississippi State does play at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time in Arizona on Saturday night. I don't know what that means, but that's a tough trip to make out west, and maybe
thank you for your service.
Have a little hangover here coming into Baton Rouge next week. So, but for as far as LSU goes, first things first. Tomorrow, outside of all of the festivities and all of what's going on around the game, the band, the food, the culture, everybody coming in and looking to enjoy Tiger Stadium for the first time here with Brian Kelly leading LSU on the field. And I know this thing is a 40-point spread. And, Southern and LSU, just from a competitive standpoint, their rosters do not look the same. And tomorrow, LSU should have their way with Southern outside of some emotional plays by the Jaguars because, look, man, you're going to have some guys that are playing inside Tiger Stadium for, the only time in their life. It'll be a huge moment for a lot of people on the opposite sideline. And you're going to get their fiercest punch. But LSU should take care of business. Hopefully they take care of business tomorrow. And if they do, the things that you want to see, right? The things that you want to go into the weekend looking to take away from it from an LSU standpoint is, first things first for me, clean up the special teams mess. Like the things that should look very easy to take care of, protecting on PAT, protecting on field goal, being able to cover kicks, being able to catch punts, being able to, make an impact from a special team standpoint. I think first things first, that's what I want to see. I want to see how they have, used this week to get right the woes that haunted them last Sunday night. So special teams, first things first for me, off the top, have they improved or have they just started the trek to improvement? It's not going to happen overnight. But this was a huge week for Brian Polian's group. And they had a lot of work to get done. So let's see how much work they were able to squeeze in this work week come Saturday in Tiger Stadium when the special teams units are evaluated. After that, I want to see what this defensive line rotation looks like. Now that Mason Smith's out, and you heard it yesterday, Brian Kelly, he said it. He was asked by, I believe, Sheldon Mickles of The Advocate asked him, now that Mason Smith is out, who's going to be next up as far as that rotation goes? And he mentioned Ty'G Hill, the freshman out of New Orleans, out of Carr, who's, could start to see some time here now that there's some opportunity. But Kelly said it right after that. They're limited. The depth, they don't have it. Mason Smith covered up a lot of the depth concerns that you may have, and he also gave you a very much a security about hiding some depth. That was look. If you listen to this show, I felt very secure about LSU's defensive line rotation. Now in the second game of the season, their best player on the interior is out for the rest of the year in Mason Smith, and Ali Gay's going to miss a half tomorrow night. So you're going to have to dig into the depth of what this group is going to look like.
And Quincy's on a scooter.
And who's going to play. But I've gotten word that Quincy's going to be back.
Okay. That'd be a great opportunity to see.
Yes.
I mean, that's what this is, right? Mm-hmm. Especially for LSU coming into this game without an Ali Gay for a half. But I'd imagine he probably won't play the entire game, or do you think you see him second half?
No, I think he would play second half. All these guys got to play. All these guys need reps. And when Gay gets back in there, they need to learn how to play together, and they need to learn – they just need the reps. I mean, nobody at this point is too good not to play, right? I think that, when Gay gets eligible come halftime, after halftime, you get him out there and play. But I think you get a good opportunity to look at players like Savion Jones, who we saw in extended action last week. Desmond Little didn't play as much as I thought he would. Maybe he gets some time here with Ali Gay being out on Saturday. And then Kelly said it, you might have to now kind of change your strategy as far as what you're going to do to help yourself out. Do you go more to a 3-4 look? Because you don't have as many options now as you once did at defensive line. So it'll be interesting to see what that defensive line rotation looks like. It's going to be Mekhi Wingo, first guy up. Kelly mentioned Ty'G Hill, and Quincy Wiggins will have his chance, I think, to get back and play on Saturday. You're going to have some guys step up. And, I think that this will be interesting to see how they kind of find their groove going into SEC play from a, just a rotation standpoint. And then after that, what are they going to do on the offensive line? right? Like that offensive line, you know, I mean, the scary part about the offensive line to me and the situation that LSU is in is that they didn't practice a lot together in fall camp. In fact, they made the move to insert Cam Wire at right tackle and slide Anthony Bradford down to right guard, you know, only, I believe it was like 10 days before the opener. It was the last scrimmage in Tiger Stadium. They decided to kind of stick with that lineup and then, you know, started repping it, right? So, I mean, that's not a lot of, you know, I mean, that's not a lot of time on the practice field to play next to one another. And then you start to shake some things up. Even last Saturday night, we saw it. Bradford came out. Tremont Shorts went in. You know, what are they doing from a rotation standpoint? Maybe this week you look at a group of guys that include Charles Turner at center, and maybe you move Garrett Dellinger around to a guard spot, which, you know, gives you some relief in some other spots. I'm just curious on how they're going to keep, you know, playing with these groups, these rotations on offensive line as they try and continue to find their best five. At what point does Emory Jones become an option? You know, I still think that they've got some lineups that they want to look at and they want to play from an offensive line standpoint. I think tomorrow is a good opportunity to start to, you know, to crack that, to look at that, to see what they're most comfortable and where they can find their most comfort. Like I said, they played guys like Tremont Shorts last weekend. You know, Will Campbell didn't come out of the game. You heard Kelly yesterday talk about how they need to be more deliberate on their tackle rotation for the offensive line. So, I mean, they're still looking at all types of groups, all types of rotations, all types of combinations of guys that they want to play together and see if they can fit alongside one another. So tomorrow will be a great chance, I think, to see, you know, kind of what they're trying to get to. Where are they trying to get as far as the offensive line's concerned? Who do they feel comfortable in? Who do they want to give opportunities to? Who do they want to evaluate? Who do they want to look at? You know, all of that tomorrow in these four quarters, I think, give you a great chance. And then, you know, kind of a sub-header of that, right? I mean, you know, if this was an outline, you know, kind of, you know, under Roman numeral 1, you know, I mean, of offensive line, run game, right? Like, try to establish some sense of a run game tomorrow night to give you some confidence that, you know, you can be reliant on that at some point. Because last week, you know, I think we haven't talked about it here after all that we saw and we didn't see last Sunday night, and we've talked to a lot of people. One thing that we haven't talked, in my opinion, at least here on this show enough, is the inability to run the ball outside of the quarterback. You know, I mean, was it 11 carries shared between Williams, Kane, and Goodwin? I mean, that's not going to cut it. And I know that their primary guy in John Emery is not available right now and still will not be available tomorrow night, and hopefully we'll be all back and ready to go come Mississippi State next week, and maybe he can change the tune of that running back room and that rush game. But, you know, some of these guys, Kane, Goodwin, Williams, they got to get going. And tomorrow night hopefully is a good opportunity for the offensive line to open up some holes and get these guys out and running, because, you know, we talked about kind of the change in identity of LSU defensively, where, you know, last weekend we saw their defensive backs breaking down in zone cover. It couldn't go man. You know, I mean, when's the last time LSU's not been confident enough to, you know, just go one-on-one with you? Go man-to-man on the outside, cover one, cover zero. No help. And last weekend you saw that even with help, Travis Rogers was having, or excuse me, Jordan Travis was having he's having a lot of success. And the identity of LSU for so long defensively has always been DBU and, you know, supreme and premier athletes on the outside that you can play one-on-one with. And it's also been, you know, a workhorse of a running back. or just that one dominant guy of Leonard Fournette, Darius Geis, Joseph Adai, Jacob Hester. LeBrandon Toefield, Kevin Falk. I mean, they've always had this one dominant rusher that you could turn around, hand it to, and feel like he could get you 90, 95 yards a day. At least. That you could just feed. There doesn't seem to be that guy on this roster right now. So as the identity has changed for LSU defensively, where you wonder where these lockdown corners, where are these one-on-one guys that can take, these wide receivers out of the game, the same can be said on the offensive side, how their identity has, slided off the running game. I mean, they had no confidence in the running back run game last week versus Florida State. I mean, outside of Jaden Daniels carrying the ball, they gotta find some solution to help him out because, like I said, look, they gotta have Jalen. They have to have Jaden Daniels running the football for them to be effective, but they got to do it differently than when they did on Sunday night because they're going to get him hurt. He can't continue to run into the middle of the field, and I think still 14 carries that's got to be the max, and hopefully you don't get there a lot with him. I mean, hopefully somebody else can take the workload off of him of running the ball. And this is where I would incorporate players like Keyshawn and Malik into the run game.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was thinking as well.
I mean, I would just run them on jet sweeps at least twice a half. And almost just like these extended pitches where you put him in the slot, snap the ball, and just kind of just flip it out to him like a, almost like a toss sweep out and just say, get outside. Play one-on-one. Have your outside receiver smash down on the inside, on the nickel guy, whoever's guarding the slot, and let Keyshawn and Malik play one-on-one with the outside corner. I'll take that matchup all day with the ball in his hands. And I think that also kind of, it also kind of gets him moving, right? Makes him feel relevant. So a lot of opportunities tomorrow to fix some of the things that we saw last Sunday night. Those are tops on my list. Fix the special team stuff, right? Block and protect PAT and field goal. Catch punts. Make plays in the kick game.
Laughing at the chat. Somebody said our lockdown corner is riding the bench this weekend in Austin.
Is he not starting?
No.
He can't play there.
No.
Match made in heaven.
Kyrie Jackson is their starting corner, and Kool-Aid McKinnon.
And they're talking about Eli Ricks, who transferred out to Alabama in the offseason. But, I mean, look, I've talked to enough people over at Alabama now where, I mean, Eli Ricks and Nick Saban are so far off.
How did he get it on campus?
Well, I mean, his need.
Yeah.
Saban's going to take a 5-star every time because he thinks he can change you. He can't change all of them. And
I just don't understand how you would think that what Eli Ricks thought he was going to change Nick Saban.
No, I don't think Eli Ricks thought that. I just think that Eli Ricks was coming from LSU where, he told them what he was going to play. I mean, if you turn on the film, Eli Ricks was lost in zone coverage. I mean, outside of just playing backyard football where you're just saying, I got him. Wherever he goes, I'm going with him. He can do that all day. You put him in some type of scheme and tell him, hey, man, you got to stay in this area. You can't leave with that guy, right? You got to stay here, guard here, and whoever comes in this area, that's your man. You're playing man-to-man on this area. I mean, every time he's following whoever's head up on him, he's leaving zones wide open, and LSU's getting burnt. That's not, at LSU last season, they had to have it. Put him out there. I mean, he's the best that they had. At Alabama, I mean, you can go sit over there and rot, bro. You know what I mean? You don't have to get it. And you won't be the first 5-star that's come through here that, feels like you're getting slighted. And that's the story from the people that I've spoke with over at Alabama is that Eli Ricks just hadn't bought into the process.
It's a little late now.
And if Saban doesn't have the buy-in on the process, I mean, you can sit and watch. We'll get you a ring, but you ain't going to play.
Might play special teams.
Oh, I'll bet he's going to run down there.
Who's it, Tony Brown?
Mm-hmm. At least he was on the field.
Well, not to his senior year.
Yeah, lost him in the national championship,
too. He got him cooked. I don't know. I guess you don't want Eli Ricks on the LSU team either. Like, there's probably a reason that Brian Kelly and Nick Saban probably aren't that different in terms of like buy-in and who you want on your football team. So I'd imagine they had a conversation.
He didn't transfer out of Kelly's program.
No, you transferred before that.
But
Yeah,
I'm just talking about like I would imagine that Eli was like looking around the room and like looking around like where can I go? Alabama. If he would have stayed here, Brian Kelly would have been brought in. It would have been the same situation for him. So he'd probably be riding the bench for LSU.
Yeah,
like Brian Kelly probably would be like. Everything he preaches is about buy-in. Everything he preaches is about we're changing the way that we're doing things. Like Eli Ricks would have probably been doing like what he's doing at Alabama right now, where he's like, I thought I was gonna be able to do my own thing.
Yeah. Really and truly, this could be the best thing that's ever happened to Eli Ricks. You know what I mean? Because the way he was trending at LSU, nobody was gonna sit and tell him, "Hey, man, you need to suck it up and do your job. You need to learn how to play football." You know what I mean? Like you are athletically really gifted. And you're super talented, but you don't know how to play the game as far as like being able to be coached and learn how to play scheme and learn how to, shut down defenses by helping the rest of your team out. He didn't get that. And look, I'm not banging on Eli Ricks. I'm just telling you that's the truth on it. I mean, he was, if you go back and watch the film from last season, you couldn't play him in situations where you wanted to play zone because he didn't know what he was doing. He can lock you up man to man all day, but when he's not bought in and, he's not doing his job, the whole thing breaks down. So, in a situation like Alabama, where you're the number one team in the country and, you got a top 3 defense, top 5 defense
9
in the country.
9 starters.
Hey, man. They don't need you. You know what I mean?
The dude you're trying to replace is out here killing people.
Right. Like
taking up number 7.
Your scout team this week.
Oh, good work for them.
Yeah.
Great, right?
Yeah.
Great.
Hell of a scout team player.
Remember, Daily, we're brought to you by our friends over at Edward Jones. My friend Daniel Newman over at Edward Jones can help you out with any financial advice you are looking for today. Easiest way to get in touch with Daniel is to email him, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. Located across from Stabs over in Central. He can help you out with getting your finances right. Any questions you may have, email him, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. And as we tell you all the time, if you are a part of the plant industry, if you're in the industrial space and work for Dow, Exxon, BASF, any of the plants around here or in the listening area, doesn't matter where you are, Daniel's got tremendous success in that field. He has helped out a lot of people, man, just with answering financial questions. He understands everything that's going on within that industry and can help you out today. Get in touch with him, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. Kind of feels like fall. I see our guy Nick Richard inside of the chat app, and he is talking about how good it felt this morning. It does feel a little bit like fall finally.
Crisp in the air.
Yeah, it finally feels a little bit like football weather here in South Louisiana. So it is a great start to the weekend. As we said, hopefully the rain will hold off. As
it's gonna rain today.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
Not looking good. Not looking good. Not looking good. But it feels great now.
Let's play today.
Feels great now.
Play this morning. Lot them up, boys.
Kick this thing off right now.
Surprise kick.
Yeah.
Watch that game.
Onside.
Ditched the bike this morning. Ran some sprints up the one way.
Oh.
Do people look at you like you're insane?
There's nobody around.
Yeah, but you're sprinting at 4
I did catch at like 4:15 this morning. Caught an
APB out for you because you're sprinting in downtown Baton Rouge.
It's down a little one way. Which no
harm.
Yeah, nobody getting hurt, man. Ain't nobody getting hurt.
The last man I saw sprinting
the
around.
stragglers on Government Street post 4 a.m. is a sight, bro.
Those are my people.
I mean, like it was this morning. Yeah, lots.
You got a cigarette?
Lots. Caught a crew this morning. Old boy coming down Government in a wheelchair.
Hell yeah.
And a 40. Had his partners behind him, and they were coming from one. They were on one late, bro. They were
pool hall.
Yes, absolutely. They were telling stories, laughing in the streets, man.
Let's go home, fellas.
Yeah, it was.
Everybody get your
You got
roll
my
on.
It was the move, bro.
I'm so tired of walking, man. I feel great.
Yeah.
Man.
Let's go to the store and get some black and mild.
Hey, somebody push me. I gotta go.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely, man. Everybody was packing. Everybody was holding. It was awesome, man.
Soft pack.
But it felt like football weather.
Oh, a collared shirt.
Outside. Yeah. Whoa. Looked super official, Jamil.
What's that?
Tiger TV.
But
Thank you for your service.
it should get us a great start to the weekend. Hopefully, what's the rain like tonight? What's the weather like tonight? Is it raining all night?
It's supposed to rain like every hour after 12 afternoon.
Sweet.
Yeah, 12. We're good until 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 50%,
Because they got some really good high school football games tonight.
40% at 7. Yeah, it might be a little sloppy track.
Rummel coming in to play U High.
Ooh. Woodlawn LCA.
Woodlawn's traveling over to Lafayette Christian to take on LCA. John Curtis is playing at Zachary tonight.
Oh,
I mean, like,
What a night for
you got
football.
some power going off in
All uniform game too.
Yeah, all uni game. The U High Rummel game, sneaky. Maybe one seed.
what,
Out of
for
all of
unis?
them.
Or
Unis.
just game? Yeah, I love the Rumble uniforms.
Yeah, I like
The
the
Rummel
white.
unis are fine, but U Highs are sneaky, kind of like slick. They're all whites are untouchable.
Can't go wrong with all white.
The all whites U High are untouchable, but Zachary obviously with the Jumpman logo and I mean
Just
their practice
sponsored.
where the offense wears the blacks and the offense wears the whites
Yeah, it's
is I mean it's
where we
so
at right now?
next level D1 like who do they play this week?
Oh, they're not going Velcro.
Poor bastards. No.
They're
No,
going
no,
like
no, no.
two sets of
Like the
uniforms?
defense wears the black helmets.
And the offense
The
wears the white
offense wears the
helmets.
white helmets. Offense got white practice unis. Defense got black practice unis. They go like shells, shorts with the
Oh,
girdle
this-
pads
yeah.
and the
Yeah.
overshort. I mean, coach, it's
It's college, coach.
What happened
it's
to
not college. It's like SEC.
Yeah.
Like it's
Like,
like
everybody has the
it's
same
probably
color
like
shorts
mid
on.
2000s SEC. You know, it's probably like Ole Miss, Mississippi State.
Yeah.
2000?
Well, I mean, yeah, that would sign me up.
No doubt.
Because I'm used to the, what is that even material?
mesh.
Yeah, the little mesh vest. Like the,
Oh, yeah,
here, take
yeah,
this, you're on
absolutely.
defense.
Oh, you're
Like,
on scout team.
Yeah, you're
they
on
do
here.
have the little mesh vests, but
Yeah.
that's for the scout team. It's
Yeah.
not for
When it's one
like,
Did
until
they have
ones.
Did they have the?
pads over
The
the
condom?
helmet.
I think they had the helmet condom.
With the safety one?
I think they had like
Not the safety one. The,
Oh,
the
but
little,
like
the little
the-
sleeve that you put over
Yeah.
your helmet to show that you're on scout team.
Woof.
We had those.
That's what we had senior year. You take that.
Yeah,
Ugh.
freshman.
all right, so
Don't
we'll
have
give
it
you a
then?
couple of plays here that we're liking for the weekend, or at least mine. I don't want to put anybody on the spot. I am 0 for 1 going into the weekend. I took the over last night of the Los Angeles
took the over
Rams
twice.
and the Buffalo Bills last night. 31-10 final was a 12-point loss for your boy on that total last night. So I have shifted all of my money to Alabama this weekend. I am going all in. My number one play of the weekend is Alabama minus the 20 at Texas. For whatever reason, and I don't know why, this thing has not moved. It hadn't budged.
11 a.m. kick.
Yeah, but I mean, like, are we that scared of an 11 a.m. kick for Alabama? I mean, who is this, LSU?
When's the last time they've played that early?
I can't. I couldn't tell you
That's
that.
the problem. That's what it is. They haven't played that early. in a
Just nothing. No
long
experience. Nothing to go on.
time. I guess.
But
mean,
I look, my tone changed on this game when I don't know if anybody saw this when like Saban, I believe it was on the SEC teleconference when they were asking him questions about.
oh,
Hey
the
man,
horns down.
No, not about the horns down. Like, do you think it's a big advantage that Steve Sarkisian knows all about your program? And you could tell that Saban has been asked this probably like 20 times now through the offseason and through this week. And he almost like cut the guy off in the question and said, yeah, but I know all about him. And I mean, like when he said that, like it kind of, you could feel like everybody be like,
There
yeah.
goes that narrative.
yeah,
Oh,
you're right. You're right. Sark's screwed. You know what I mean? Like,
cooked.
don't think that he's not still like wallowing in the Arch Manning stuff.
I mean,
You know what I mean? Like Saban's a Michael Jordan type guy. He's a Kobe Bryant type guy. I mean, the guy didn't tell me hello at dinner. I took that personal. You know what I mean? Like he took Arch Manning away from me when at times Saban felt like he was in the driver's seat for Arch Manning. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's something that Sark did while he was at Alabama. Maybe it was trade secrets that he's taken from Alabama to Austin that Saban doesn't like. I don't know what it is, but Saban's got something that he's chewing on all week that he's going to pound Sark and Texas. And don't forget, the last time out, Saban got beat by one of his assistants. The narrative up until last year, until Jimbo got him mid-October, was that Saban and his assistants, he dominated them. He owned them. Nobody loved that storyline more than Nick Saban. I mean, you could sense his handshake midfield at Kyle Field in College Station. He was just like, get me out of here, man. Right? I mean, the Don finally falls, and then Kirby Smart gets him in the national championship game. This guy is coming for blood on Sunday or Saturday. And whether it's at 11 a.m., whether it's at 10 p.m., or whether it's at 4 a.m., I don't care when it is, Alabama is a total mismatch for Texas, right? I mean, Texas isn't here yet. Maybe Sark's got it moving in the right direction, and they're doing good things as far as recruiting goes. But the team that Alabama rolled out last Saturday night and the team that I watched Texas play with a week ago, look, I know I said the same thing about Florida State and LSU's defensive and offensive line, and I missed there. But when you look at Texas and Alabama, it's pretty obvious, right? Like, they can't match up.
Block 31.
Huh?
Just block 31.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah,
Killing
right.
people last week.
Yeah, right.
Killing people.
Block 31.
Nick Saban just needs to send old Sark a bottle of booze.
San Francisco 49ers
ready.
can't block 31.
Right.
I mean, like, 31's going to be an issue, and we're talking about Will Anderson, the stand-up defensive end for Alabama. I mean, this is his money year. He's potentially going to be the number one pick. He feels as certain of the number one pick right now than anyone. If it's not him, it's Bryce Young,
Well, not only
the quarterback.
it may not be the number one pick, but he's probably the surest thing in the draft that, all right, if he falls to you or if you take him one, you just extended your GM life by 3 years. Yeah. It's like drafting Derek Stingley. If he stays healthy, you got a pro.
So I really do love Alabama in this spot. I think that this is the start time does not scare me at all. I think that Alabama is going to be prepared for this. This is their first big game of the season. They had that week 1 game versus Utah State to kind of work the kinks out and some of the things that we've talked about that you kind of got to go through. To get to a big matchup. Think Georgia State LSU back in 2019 when they were able to play Georgia State in week 1, and then they went to Austin in week 2, right? And they were able to kind of work some of the kinks out before they got there.
Do you think that Texas fans have talked themselves into that? They have.
I'm sure
Texas is back.
I'm sure, bro.
Because you can get there, like every fan base. Shit, we did it last week,
right?
Where it's LSU, and the longer you look at it, the more you think about it. You start trying to like size up both sides of it. You watch Florida State play against Duquesne, and you're like, that wasn't very impressive. LSU's going to eat them alive up front. You just start doing all these mental gymnastics to get yourself to a spot where, like, I think Texas can beat Alabama. And then you get to the game and you watch the first drive, you're like, never mind.
Well,
why am I even here?
When the Texas faithful are saying that they're going to win, then the opening kickoff's going to happen.
Well, they have to shoot the cannon first.
Right.
Yeah.
Shoot it through Bryce Young's jersey.
Yeah.
Try that tomorrow.
Or they might shoot
it through
like
Will Anderson's jersey. See what happens.
They should shoot
Are they
it
game
through
day?
Saban's face.
Is that where game day is?
Yeah.
Gotta
McAfee.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's going to be great.
It will
he's
be
going to jump in Lake Austin. That man loves to swim.
20 is not enough.
Yeah.
I think that Alabama rolls Texas tomorrow. My opening play of the weekend is Alabama minus the 20. My second play of the weekend is, and I'm starting to kind of lose a little confidence on this, is Kentucky going into Florida to take on the Gators. They're catching 6.5 here, and this opened up at 4. If it would have stayed at 4, I'd have played Florida. It's moving around at 6.5. I feel a little uneasy. I do know this: Kentucky is without their running backs. They lost a transfer in coming into the season, Ramon Jefferson, who transferred in from Sam Houston State. He tore his ACL. But the bigger story is that Chris Rodriguez, the SEC's top returning rusher, he's dealing with a multiple game suspension for something that happened off the field. and he's not going to be going tomorrow. Cavassier Smoke started the opener with Jefferson as his backup. As we said, Jefferson tore his ACL, and then third-string running back Juwan McClain also got injured in the second half last week versus Miami of Ohio, which Stoops said earlier this week, or said in the SEC teleconference, he's going to be week to week. So right now they're going into Florida with one running back tomorrow, and this game is really going to go on the shoulders of Will Levis. And this is a huge spot for Levis, in my opinion. And this is the only reason why I feel okay taking Kentucky. I'm really betting on Will Levis here. And I think that Florida, obviously, the emotion of last weekend, Billy Napier getting into that game, opening up his reign inside the swamp, huge emotional win for Florida. I know it was a sloppy game at the end, but any way you can get a W in that game, you take it, sprint to the locker room, and just start preparing for next week. Are you as invested after that emotional win? Are you still kind of riding high and still celebrating and still feeling some of the effects of last Saturday night? That's also something that I'm going to bet on come Saturday in the swamp when I'm taking Kentucky plus the 6.5. And that's the number. Some services I know had it opened at 4. Caesars had it as it opened at 5. It's moved up 1.5 already 24 hours before kickoff. This thing might dance all over the place before they actually get it moving. I'm going to take it at 6.5. I'm going to take Kentucky. I know they're without a running game. I know they're without a running back. I think it's going to be tough for Florida back-to-back weeks to put that emotional that emotional performance together. They may win the game. I just think it's going to be a little closer than a touchdown. And for that to happen, Will Levis is going to have his biggest game tomorrow, because he's not going to have the support of Rodriguez and that run game that he's had over the last year since he's been the starter. So it's really going to come down to Levis tomorrow, and I think that this is a good spot for him. Right, he's taking a good team that's banged up, that's not supposed to win, into a hostile environment with a team riding high with a lot of momentum. I mean, it kind of sets up for Levis to play hero tomorrow. So I'll take Levis. I'll take Florida not being able to stack it up back-to-back weeks as far as the emotion goes of it. And I think Kentucky's a good team, with or without Rodriguez. I think they're built the correct way. They got good players in the right spots, and they're going to go in there, and they're going to compete. And this game has always meant so much to Kentucky, because Florida was really kind of the example in the East that Kentucky would always base its, kind of being a basketball school off of. That you really weren't respected in football because you didn't really beat anybody. And once they beat Florida a couple of years back, that really solidified their program. That really gave the reputation to the program that, hey, man, they need to be taken seriously, and Stoops is doing good things. So this game still means a lot to them as far as the program goes. I think Stoops knows that. He'll have them fired up to go in there. I think touchdown is a lot. It wouldn't surprise me if Florida wins it by a field goal. If they do, we collect. I'll take I'll take Kentucky plus the 6.5
by the half
tomorrow.
Point. Just by a half point.
Hey, I'm just telling you where my friends at Caesars are.
Yeah, you could
right?
You could do it.
You kind of go manipulate what you want to do.
Yeah, just get it to 7, then you don't have to worry about winning by a field goal. And if you lose by a touchdown, you push and you just lose a little bit of vig.
So I'm taking Alabama and Kentucky as my top 2 plays, and then my third play tomorrow is going to be Tennessee. I'm taking Tennessee minus the 6 on the road at Pittsburgh. I watched Pittsburgh last week versus West Virginia. Their offense is very unbalanced. They like to throw the ball a lot. If they don't have a run game tomorrow, I don't think that they're going to be able to keep up with Tennessee from a point-scoring standpoint. Tennessee's going to score points in
bunches.
Absolutely. I love Hendon Hooker.
Pittsburgh does have a good running back, though.
Yeah, but they're very unbalanced.
They don't run the ball.
They don't run the ball. They don't run the ball.
But he can run. Let's keep that in there.
I hear you.
Put it in the tickler.
But they're going to have to throw it to keep up with Tennessee tomorrow.
It's true.
Tennessee scores points, man. And I just think that I love Hendon Hooker, really. Again, I'm betting on quarterbacks here. And a lot like Major League Baseball, I'm seeing who they're throwing. And I like who Tennessee's signal caller is in Hendon Hooker. I like Will Levis. Obviously, Bryce Young. But, I mean, I think that when you look at these three quarterbacks, you look at these guys that I'm betting on tomorrow. Levis, we set it up. He's got something to prove. Hendon Hooker in Tennessee. This is a little bit of a revenge spot for them after last season when Pittsburgh came into Neyland Stadium and upset the Vols after they were out to a big lead. And, I think that they're bringing an offensive they're bringing some offensive firepower into Pitt tomorrow that, it's going to be tough for the Panthers to keep up with. I'm taking Tennessee minus the 6, and that'll be my 3 plays going into Saturday. I like Bama minus the 20, load up. That's my number 1 play. I'm putting the majority of my chips on Alabama tomorrow, and then I'm sprinkling Kentucky and Tennessee in the afternoon, with Kentucky catching 6.5 points on the road at Florida, and then Tennessee giving 6 on the road at Pittsburgh. Those lines, all compliments of our friends over at Caesar Sportsbook. Remember, over at Caesar Sportsbook, you can gamble up to $1,250 risk-free right now just by using the promo code JCLSU full. JCLSU full is the promo code to use, and you can risk-free gamble up to $1,250 right now from our friends over at Caesar Sportsbook. JCLSU full will be back with more of the Jordy Culotta Show, as always, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
Hey Baton Rouge, when traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, whether you need to fill up your vehicle or your belly, stop by Go-Mart and On The Go Deli. Go-Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you might need on your trip. So stop by Go-Mart at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left, and visit Tom and Wright Granning and their awesome team at Go-Mart.
We've seen the BK takeover stuff from LSU and social media, and really in his short time in Baton Rouge, there's been a lot of people embracing his approach to building this roster. What's it like to recruit alongside him?
Oh, it's been great. Coach has been awesome to me because he lets me be myself when it comes to recruiting, when it comes to coaching. He lets his coaches coach, he lets his coaches recruit. So I have no complaints on that end. And when I need him to get in touch with a kid, he's there for me. The communication line has been great. He's just been nothing but supportive.
But this opportunity was different. You have a chance to come to a place with unbelievable tradition, work for the winningest head coach in college football. Just be at a state. I've never been at a state where football's king, and if you just dominate your state, you're going to get some of the best players that there are.
Sure.
Yeah, so I think, getting through spring, I mean, most of it was obviously just installing the offense. And I think all 4 guys really made some strides in terms of that and showed a lot of positives, obviously, which, you guys get to talk about all the time. So you guys,
Sure.
Yeah. But all 4 have done a great job. They did. I think they really did a really nice job in spring of taking strides forward individually, and everybody's different in terms of what they need to get better at and what they need to show, and then move it into summer. And I love the way they're working right now in the weight room for Coach Flint. But like I said, I think spring a lot was everything was new for everybody. So especially at the beginning, there wasn't as much evaluation, say the first few days, get into the flow, and then I think we got some good opportunities for some guys to get some reps, and I think everybody showed some positives.
Hey Baton Rouge, when traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, whether you
We're all from different places and backgrounds. We've each experienced our own versions of life, but in the end, we're all on the same team. I'm part of that team, along with these players in purple and gold.
Keyshawn Boutte,
Malik Neighbors,
Miles Frazier,
Kyron Lacy,
Greg Brooks.
Whether on the field or in the courtroom, your team matters.
So join our team. Make a difference.
Bet. Let's get it done.
Best athlete to come out of New Iberia, Mark Roman?
Keyshawn Boutte.
Keyshawn? Wow.
Right now, Keyshawn, and Mark was a little bit before me. I was a ball boy. When Mark was playing at New Iberia Senior High School, I played like right after Mark. But Keyshawn just has done some things, and just the things that you guys are seeing Keyshawn do, that he's not even scratching the surface of what we saw on a day-to-day basis at practice. And he's unreal. He's unreal.
He's so natural. It's so so easy. It looks so easy to him.
Yes, it's so easy, and there's never been another a competitor I've ever seen like Keyshawn. Keyshawn would not lose going to eat pregame meal. He has to be the first. He is the ultimate competitor. He would not lose. So trust me, he will be ready.
Man, so kind of when I entered the transfer portal, I knew what type of facility, what type of program I wanted to go to. Being that before I committed to Ohio State, my first unofficial was to LSU.
Oh wow!
And but that was when Coach O and Court Raymond was here or whatever. But definitely the coaches, the scheme Kelly, trying to bring in, trying to implement, his way of going, like detailed person. That's where I wanted to be. I knew I wanted to be.
Did you have any experience with Coach Kelly?
No, I had no experience. No.
Really? Who was your main recruiter from LSU?
Sherman Wilson. Yeah, he was stay consistent. Honest. Just gave it to me straight.
Yeah.
And this is where I wanted to be.
How do you feel about that number at this university playing that position?
Yeah, man, I definitely want it. I definitely. He wanted to come in and prove, to my teammates, not just the coaches, but to my teammates that I got to go play with, that, I deserve it. And once I do that, then, everything is, up from there. Yeah.
We're all from different places and backgrounds. We've each experienced our own versions of life.
I was embarrassed about my smile. Are you unhappy at yours? Do you not smile back at yourself? I called my friend, Dr. Spillers, over at Johnson Spillers. He fixed my smile, and now everywhere I go, people are complimenting it after the work that Dr. Spillers and the staff did to my mouth. They can do it to yours. Get in touch with them. JohnsonSpillers.com. 2 locations, one in Gonzales, one in Baton Rouge. Easy to find them, JohnsonSpillers.com. Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz. We love the crew over at Fresh Chef Kitchen. Chef Shane and his crew dropping off the meals every Monday here to FM Digital Media, whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner. Me or the crew's going through our meals over at Fresh Chef Kitchen. Their weekly pre-order, freshly made meals, or you can walk into the cooler over there on Airline Highway. They have that fresh, same service over there at Fresh Chef Eats. FreshChefEats.com is where you can find them online. Fresh Chef Kitchen. Tell them you heard it right here on the Jordy Culotta Show.
St. James is always good, and now they get Prion in. So you wanted to get back into St. James. You had Jones come, you lose Preston, now you get Prion. That's a good school to have a foot into. They've shaken up the staff a bit, so I'm excited to kind of see what they've got this year. But in terms of Prion, he's ranked everywhere as an athlete. I mean, LSU has recruited him at receiver, so that might put an end to the receiver run here. You've got 4 guys, and Kyle Parker and Jalen Brown from outside the state, Shelton Sampson, and now Prion inside the state. I guess you could take more. They only have like 8 scholarship receivers on the roster right now. It's like 8 good guys, but they're not as deep as you normally would be. So maybe they go beyond 4. But very good start for Cortez Hankton at the position. And I think a lot of people are coaches and fans alike are eager to see Prion as a senior because he's been at Ascension Catholic, which is 1A, I think. So a big jump up in classification and competition playing at St. James and down in the River Parishes. I think it'll be interesting to see. He's going to return some kicks and punts and see kind of where they put him on each side of the ball, but receiver is going to be what everybody's watching. Yeah, love it. I mean, again, on July 1st, they were ranked 50th, and they had like 4 commits. And it was kind of many were pressing the panic button, or at least saying, hey, look, this has got to change. You can't stay on this course. And boom, boom, boom. I think at this point they averaged between July 1st and now, it's like a commit every probably 4 days, 5 days, and high-level guys, and both in Louisiana and popping some national guys that are really good. And I've talked to people outside of LSU over in different camps, Georgia, Bama, wherever it might be, and they're saying LSU's putting together a nice little class over there, year one picking right up. And I think the product on the field, I've always said, is like kids don't care if you're undefeated or you lost 2 or 3 games. Like in high school, you lose games. You're not going into a situation where you're like, oh, they lost this weekend, I'm out. Like, so struggles this year, or at least, if you go 8-4, whatever it might be, recruiting momentum will continue to pick up. That won't deter it. So unless they fall apart on the field, I don't see a path where they don't stay in the top 5 because they've got guys they continue to knock down dominoes with.
Oh.
There's how many grandchildren I have.
All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by
blocked out my
Go Chevrolet. Caesars?
No, never.
Right,
Lost my password.
Yeah, I'm go get a new social security number if that happened.
Make sure to use the QR code top right of your screen. Make sure and use the promo code JCLSU full is how you can get credit over there. $1,250 risk-free over at our friends over at Caesar Sportsbook. I'm looking at this royal family and how it's set up.
Yeah, rip to the queen.
So, Queen Elizabeth passes away yesterday. 96?
96.
What a life.
Is that a real stat that you had, Noah?
What?
The Browns quarterbacks?
Yeah, the stat said 59 Browns quarterbacks in her lifespan.
Wow. How many Chicago Bear quarterbacks?
It's a graveyard of quarterbacks.
Yes, I mean, Cleveland's going to have the most, but the queen, she couldn't handle opening night.
Nah, she was done with it, man.
Football got her.
No more football.
Heart got too excited.
Football gods.
Football god. Football god, you killed her.
The football god. Explain yourself. What happened to the queen?
Every king needs a queen.
Not that one.
Not that one.
But I'm looking at little Louis, our guy.
Yes.
Who was it Wimbledon?
It was the Jubilee.
The Jubilee ball.
That's right. Pull back up. Can we find Louis? The young prince. There he
Prince
is.
Louis of
Look
Cambridge.
At that kid. What a shithead he looks like.
He's inching closer to
a
his
total
reign.
Shithead. Who was that kid on A League of Their Own? Did anybody ever see A League of Their Own with Tom Hanks?
There's no crying in baseball.
There's no crying in baseball, and the kid that one of the girls has a kid, and he eats chocolate the whole time, and he sits up on the top step and messes with Hanks the entire movie, and like while they're going like on the championship run, Hanks throws a catcher's mitt at the kid and like pops him in the face.
You probably can't even do that anymore.
No
like
way.
in a movie.
No doubt.
Look, I got it pulled up on the desktop capture here. Dangerous game we always play.
Easy.
Yes. Screen sharing.
Easy.
Yeah. Bluey.
There he
This
is.
is the picture. This was taken yesterday when they announced that the queen was dead.
He's like, yes.
Is it me now?
Stillwell was the kid's name. That's right. Thank you, Seth.
Still will.
What
a name.
So Louis, I think he's too far out of it. He'll never
Mom's
touch
kinda
it.
hot, though.
That's what I was going to ask you, and I know nothing about
Me
the
either.
monarchy,
Me either.
patriarchy,
Me either.
whatever they got going on.
Nothing
over
about the
there.
royal family.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Want to know. But
I mean, really,
if
kind
they
of like
knock-
cheating life.
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
Like, I mean, how do they get away with this stuff?
Coach, I mean,
You know what I mean? Like they're royals. What do you mean they're
They're
royals? What makes them royal?
gives a damn?
Yeah, right. It's 2022. Like, how are they still royal?
Yeah, I was made in God's image. Football gods.
You have a
Sweet, let
president?
me in.
Let me in. Yeah, I don't. But that's what I'm saying. If they knock out like the rest of them up to, would he be the president or whatever? The king.
The king.
That's what I don't get. Like,
But he would be this age.
I thought they
See,
had
like I don't know. So
Yeah,
I mean,
I
so
guess.
who's the king this morning? Is like
It's
Charles?
Charles, her son.
King
Charles.
he's
Chuck.
finally made it,
Charles
huh?
is king.
Golly,
Is that the
dude.
one that's like
He's giving him
really
a black
old?
eye too.
Well, he's old, isn't he?
Yeah,
I mean-
is that the one that's like almost dying too?
No, that was Philip. That was her husband.
Oh.
He passed away.
No, she killed him.
yeah.
And so now it's Charles, who is her son. And then it's Prince William. And then the
Can
three
he come
kids,
back though?
George, Charlotte, and then
Who, Prince William?
Louis.
Did he get banned?
Yeah, didn't they leave?
That's Harry.
They left the
That's Harry. That's the other one.
Styles, and he spent on Chris
Louis,
Pine.
little
They
Louis
left-
is ahead of Harry.
Little
Harry's-
Louis ahead of Harry.
Yeah, so it goes through the eldest son's family.
Wow.
And then the
Oh,
next
the in-laws.
son.
Okay. Okay.
Wow. That's,
So Meghan Markle,
She's
not
out.
there.
she's out.
They're out, right?
Yeah, I mean they would have to be. They're fifth in
But has
contention right
anybody
now.
ever tried that plan to knock out like a bunch of them until it's a kid? Like, people used to assassinate, like try to kill the presidents all the time. I figured at some point
I would
in history,
imagine that. Yes, for
they
sure.
all
there's
hang
been
out. We
People
know
have
where
tried.
they
I mean,
are.
like in World War I and II, I believe like the Dukes were like the most hunted of them of all the leaders because of. I mean, like
yeah,
that
we
was
can
what
we
that
can
was.
end this thing right
Yeah.
now. Yeah, cut the bloodlines.
One of them was running with Epstein, wasn't he?
Probably.
I mean, I'm sure.
I mean,
Bill Gates.
one of them got caught up in like
yeah,
the,
if you, well,
the
see,
Epstein
but
stuff.
then it doesn't even matter. There's no like.
That's what I'm saying.
There's no. What are you scared
all
of?
these
whatever they
people
want.
skate.
Yeah, this. I don't know.
The Queen lived for so long and was like ruling for so long. She saw like the evolution of like social media. Like imagine when she was 25 and Queen, no Twitter.
Yeah.
And now she gets on there like, I'm getting roasted at 96.
Yeah.
Like these people are stomping on by, making
Prince-
TikToks about me.
Prince Andrew was the one that was with Epstein.
Andrew.
He's
Yeah.
eighth in line.
And I think like she just like ran up on him and was like, "You're done.
Yeah.
Go back
You're
to the
out.
island.
Yeah, right. Give me all the diamonds."
Queen talk.
I mean,
Do
we
you
really
know?
don't
Is
care.
it that big of a deal anymore?
Yeah, I mean, you're royal.
I'm
cool.
royal.
Yeah, same.
Right.
Royal
Alexa,
blood.
Come grab a chair.
Are they royal anymore?
Yeah, how did they get that?
I mean,
How
come
do you
grab
get
a
the
chair.
status?
Class is in session. No. Nobody wants to hear from the outside. Come grab a microphone.
To what?
Scoot over, Lloyd.
Oh, carpool queen?
What do you mean?
I thought you were trying to get your feet out.
Oh, let me
Feet
get her
finder.
camera angle. Out.
She's putting her shoes on.
Gotta log into my account.
Explain
hello
the
to the
Royals
people,
here.
yeah.
Good morning. Good to see you.
somebody
How was
phone.
traffic?
Hey.
How was traffic? Tell about the Royals.
Traffic?
Yeah, how was traffic in the
traffic
Royals?
was fine, actually. It wasn't bad at all.
Wish we could have kept you
Okay.
in traffic to
So-
hear about our
What?
royal history lesson.
Britain has the first king in over 70 years, so that's weird, right?
Very weird, and he's weird. Nobody
He
really
is-
respects him, right? I mean,
No,
like
not after the
everybody-
Camilla Diana
yeah,
thing.
right, that's what
and
I'm
now
saying.
Camilla is where Diana would be, so people are all in their
oh,
feelings
that's
about
bad
that,
hate.
you know?
I bet that's bad hate.
Would Diana still be alive? How old would she be?
Of course she'd
Absolutely.
still be alive.
I
What do
don't-
you mean?
Absolutely.
I guess that did happen, like, what, early...
I don't even think
97?
she wasn't
Late-
even 40. She was like late 30s.
She
when
was young.
died. That was
She was a
97.
legend.
I remember
She was
like,
probably the
that
most
moment
popular person on the planet when she
on
died.
the
Wait,
planet.
was that the one that died in the car accident?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
The
it was a
paparazzi were
setup.
chasing her.
Yeah, they did it on purpose.
Yeah.
You think the
and
Queen-
then-
you think the
well,
Queen had
everybody
something
got
to do with
mad
that?
Because the Queen didn't respond the way the country wanted her to respond. You know, like she didn't immediately say something or put out. a
Because she
statement.
put a hit out on
Because
her.
she killed
That's
her.
what
Yeah.
people said. I mean, that's what people said, and that she wasn't sad
Allegedly.
about it when it happened.
You're
I
not
mean,
sad enough. No, my plan worked perfectly. I'm happy as hell.
It happened.
Yeah.
It worked.
I mean, she said such a stoic person. Like, I don't know why
In
people
the
expected
public.
her to be. Yeah.
As soon as the door, kill that bitch.
Can't spell Diana without
I
die.
mean, she was leaking a lot of stuff about the family, so she might have wanted her to.
Wow.
Die. I don't know. I mean, that's the rumors, forever.
Football God said she'd be in her 60s. We'll take
Yeah,
your we'll take your word for it, FG.
Yeah, as long as you give us
would,
Mason
right?
Smith back.
Right. Just give me
would.
Texas minus the 20 on Saturday. If you don't mind.
Thank you.
Wait, would she be in her 60s? Gotta find this out.
She was like an stylish icon.
She was born in 1961.
Oh yeah, she's my dad's age.
Okay.
Oh.
So
Couple of
she was
politicos.
37.
Get your ass kicked, Lloyd.
I'm registered.
But, I mean,
Not
we're
for long.
I'm actually not.
We're not sad about her dying, right?
No.
I mean, like, it was
No, well, you were the
fine.
one who came in talking shit.
Yeah,
I was talking shit
I
about
really don't know
y'all.
anything
Y'all are
about
sitting here
these
trying to
people.
figure out, like,
We had it
who's
mapped
next in
out.
We're
line,
dancing on her
like,
grave
I
over
got
here.
the-
for
Yeah.
God's sakes.
Lloyd's
the
the
map
one.
pulled up.
Lewis is in line. There you
I got the
go.
map pulled up.
Yeah,
Is
Lou.
that the family
It
tree?
is.
That's the chart.
That's the succession chart.
Do you
Oh,
think
Isn't
they
that
have that,
weird?
like, everybody has that framed in their house? Like,
Yeah.
all right, I gotta take
In the
out
bathroom?
Yes.
over the toilet taking a
Just
leak in the
studying
morning.
it,
Like, wow, I'm 6 away.
It's like an investigation board.
Yes,
They just like X out the dead people.
Yesterday they went in, they put a big red line.
Yeah, right.
All right, Charles, your turn.
They get the marker. Oh, yeah!
Hell yeah!
Smash the picture.
But think about the people who were like, I went down the wormhole yesterday and read like the whole chart, and there are people who were like 20 something in line. Like, do you use that? Like those young.
yeah.
Like,
Oh, hell
guys,
yeah.
You go
I'm
out and you're like, I'm
20-something.
20th in line to be the freaking queen.
I guess the question would be, when do you stop using it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'd imagine 14 to 30. I'm probably like,
Hell
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like,
I'm in line
you're
to the
outside-
throne,
yeah,
bitch.
right.
If you're outside,
You said what?
Yeah.
You said I couldn't do what?
I think if you're outside the top 10, though,
Yeah, right.
there's a line where
Yeah.
it's like, all right, we got to
I'd
make
push
it work.
the hell out of that line if I'm in the
Yeah.
family, coach.
I'll call my
Yeah, right.
great grandmother right
I mean,
now.
if I'm 15 out, I'm part of the royal family.
Oh, yeah.
Do what y'all got to do. Get me the meal.
Yeah.
Get me the
You
seats.
pull out the picture and you're like, look, see, this is where I am
right.
on this thing.
You wanna
see-
meet Louis?
Right.
Yeah, right.
You want to babysit?
No. But I did watch some interviews yesterday of people in Great Britain who were like, we're not sad. Like,
I
screw
saw
the
that lady on the
monarchy.
street.
Like, we're tired of the monarchy. Like, why are we doing this still? And it is kind of like.
It's a fair question.
It is
Why
a
do
fair
they
question.
still have a
question.
It
monarchy?
is.
Isn't
Like,
it
I
like-
like watching everything about it, but then I'm always like, but what are we doing? Like, what century are we in? Why are they still so relevant?
Is that why? That's what started the American Revolution?
Twitter just went
Bananas.
wild
About the Queen?
yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Ireland has a
Everything went
big
wild.
Twitter
the
contingency.
memes
We're
are
awesome.
just amazing.
She ain't got that dog in her. For owning so many.
Oh, I wonder what happens with her dogs. You
I
know,
think
she's
the-
a big
Corgi.
person.
The-
Like, they're with her all the time.
The best tweet of the day was, "Hell hasn't gotten a 5-star recruit like this since
Oh
Hitler."
my God. Who tweeted that?
It was a random page. I think.
God.
That's funny.
But, like,
Funny.
Oh my, dude! Because I had to ask Rebecca. I was like, "Are people going to be sad about this?" Because I was trying to cook up. I was trying to cook up a tweet. I was like, I don't know what to say because I don't know who she is.
I don't know shit
I
about
was like,
this.
is this going to be like a sad thing? And then Twitter just started rolling. I was like, all right, I'm in the game. And now I'm late.
Did you tweet about it?
She's
I
dead.
said football killed her. I said, America's 2-0.
LSU special teams killed the queen.
I thought about that too.
Didn't take it.
Right.
She took the
They
over.
can't block a PAT. Oh my God.
I had the over.
Did he drop it again?
Keyshawn in my fantasy league.
Rest in peace to the queen. Sorry.
Rest in
Yeah,
peace.
rest in
We got problems over
What
here.
did they do
Queen
with her?
is down.
Burner?
What?
Like, do they?
No, she'll be
Stuff her.
by Philip. Like,
That's what I'm
come on.
hoping.
keep her in the
Oh, wouldn't that
castle.
be
Yeah,
weird?
they'll like stuff her and leave her at the dinner table.
Yeah, they use her like they do in Major League. Or dodgeball drawing her. I did have a teacher in high school that wanted to get stuffed. Like she was
No.
all
Why?
like that was her plan. She always said she wanted to always be around.
Why would
She would
Is she still
taxidermy
around?
her dead animals and leave them in her house.
But she's not an animal.
At the root, I mean, she was in the classroom.
She like taxidermied her pets.
Mhm.
Ugh,
Oh wow.
so
Yeah,
weird.
people
So she
who
wouldn't be
taxidermy their pets
taxidermied.
are weird.
Shout
That's
out.
so weird.
What's her name?
What do
Miss
you
Fromm.
do?
I think she's dead. I hope she's stuffed. Hope she got her wish.
Please find out.
She would hang out outside and smoke cigarettes, and you weren't supposed to. And she's like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna stop.
Y'all got a light?
Our principal in middle school would burn in public. And we just thought it was like the most
badass
rebellious,
thing.
like,
Yeah.
That is.
You know, just like, and she would always be walking around campus with the lighter, like in the.
Who's gonna stress me out next?
Right. Like she would have a light. St. Jude, Joy Wagner.
Really?
Was her name? I believe she's still alive. She would go through a pack a day, and I'm talking about 8 to 3. She'd burn a pack.
I can't believe that.
Between being the disciplinarian, she's going outside and burn one.
I mean,
or 2.
Hey,
that's kind of bizarre.
you get Culotta to the office. Give him about 10 minutes. Hold on.
You want one of these, kid?
I mean, she would,
Culotta here. Come with
she
me.
would like open the window to her office
and just
sometimes, like in the afternoons, like not during school hours,
like after school,
but like when she was sitting there and nobody was around, you could tell she burned in there. You know what I mean?
Tried to bum a cigarette all over.
Man.
Oh, you know what you see? I would go for. I would steal her cigarette
Feet on the desk.
and just throw her off all day. She would have to leave, go buy more, and just that would be the game to play.
You totally
Foot on the
Marlboro
desk.
menthols.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The green
That's
pack.
a move.
Yeah.
Bring that back. Bring back smoking indoors. Everything comes back, and you know.
I saw a guy smoking a cigarette after
But
the LSU
it used
game,
to be
and I asked
cool.
him for one.
Yeah.
I needed it.
Needed one.
I saw a guy smoking a cigarette outside the dome, and I was like, "Can I get one of those?"
I would throw
I
one.
needed it, coach. Just emotionally spent.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you do see history repeat itself.
That's what I'm saying. You're going to
I mean,
see.
you kind of see the '90s starting to come back in fashion.
Right.
Yeah.
Smoking on airplanes.
Yeah, maybe smoking
Quantum
makes
Leap
maybe
is coming
smoking
back.
makes a
Did y'all see
return.
that?
Really?
What
Yes.
is that?
That was
I saw it
wild.
last night, and I was like, "You're kidding me."
What
On
is
network
that?
television?
Yes.
What's Quantum Leap?
Quantum
You
Leap.
can
Wow.
jump
Show.
around. You can jump around time. You can alter like timelines with the knowledge that you have of things that have happened in the past. Is that
What was
not
the
what it
guy's
is?
name?
Was
don't
it
know.
Mark?
It's like Twilight Zone or something.
No, but it's
Looking at
real.
him.
Like when he goes back.
He
in
looks
the past,
like the '80s.
Yes.
What he did alters the future.
Ah,
I think.
we
I've
read,
never
like,
seen
read a
it.
book about that in school.
Yeah, to call it the New Testament.
I mean, it was a good
wouldn't
show.
call it
It
the New
was
Testament. It's called
legit
something
in
else.
its time. I don't know how they're gonna do it now, but
I just remember the intro, and it would have like the lights. That's all I remember about.
Let's go back in
Quantum Leap.
time,
90s or
boys.
whatever.
That's all I remember about it.
Yeah, I watched it.
Other NFL games this weekend.
Back to football.
That
Let's get back to football.
let's get back
One
to
more
football.
thing. I want to bring back drinking in the middle of the day.
Did that go away?
Yeah, well, I just feel like they would have like the bar
Jesus.
cart, and they're like anytime you walked in, like 9 a.m., 11 a.m.,
We have a
3
bar
p.m.
cart. I can
Right.
set
Oh,
that up
yeah,
for
Katie,
us.
set it up.
I tried to
Let's
bring
get
back
that thing
smoking
going.
like Mad Men for us just one day. We sit in here and smoke throughout the show and see if we can get through
Mad
it.
Men make smoking look so cool.
So
I
cool.
know,
And
it's
then
so
they
sexy on that
they always
show.
just pour like a huge like bourbon neat, and they're just like sipping like.
Well, it's always the pull.
Yeah, and then the sip.
It's always like the way they pull it.
Yeah, it's like smooth.
Yeah,
bro.
it's a very
Let's
smooth.
do it.
Never a
pull.
frantic
One show.
pull.
And
One
then like
show,
the
drink
the
and
two
smoke.
top in the restaurant where they're smoking, you know, where they've got like the hand on the and the cigarettes burning, and they make their point, and then they.
And then the other person makes their point, and they.
And then they'll just
Yeah.
dive out.
Right.
Bend the whole
And
cigarette.
a quick thought.
Two scotches here, babe. Like, oh God,
Whoa.
this show really
Wow,
is.
this is the 60s.
Exactly. No, I was reenacting it. That's not me. That's what Pete Rose did here. Pete Rose, whenever he was on, he was on the
Drunk,
Reds
I'm sure.
radio call, and they talked to you. They
Yes.
said yes.
Yes.
And somebody brought up
Yes,
like
and somebody called
him
pitch
out.
in a cockeye pitch.
Yeah.
and he was like, and the guy on the radio was like, now you see why we don't interview Pete live that often.
Well, it's and a girl asked about his like gambling or something. He goes, "I'm not talking about that. It was the '80s, babe." And everyone's like, "Get Pete out of here!"
Somebody get this man out my
I'm
game.
not talking about that. It was the '80s, babe. Like, Pete, you're such a piece of shit. I love it. Never change.
Embrace it, bro.
Yeah,
Embrace it.
And $10 for that autograph.
Put him into the Hall of Fame, for God's sake.
I mean, at least.
Barry Bonds, too.
Any other games from the NFL you're looking at this weekend? Anybody
have-
care about the NFL this weekend? Can we make it past? Has anybody made it past Saturday? Yeah, we gave you our Saturday plays. If you were paying attention in the first hour of the show, our friends over at Caesar Sportsbook, download the app, use the promo code JCLSUFull to risk-free gamble up to $1,250. Our three Saturday plays were Alabama minus the 20. Put the mortgage on that one. And then Kentucky plus the 6.5 going into Florida. Little leery on it, betting on Will Levis here. It started at 4. Got to be honest, if it was 4, I would have taken Florida. At 6.5, I like Kentucky. I think it's a field goal game, somewhere around there, a close game. And I think that Kentucky is in a spot here without their running back. But Will Levis is kind of who I'm betting on, and I'm also betting on the emotion of this game. Florida, after last weekend's huge win versus Utah, having to turn around and pack it right back up for a real stiff SEC Eastern Division opponent. I think this will be a close game early in the season, so I'm taking Kentucky in the points. And then I love Tennessee minus the 6 at Pittsburgh tomorrow. Hendon Hooker and the Tennessee offense, I think, are going to put up a ton of points, and I love Tennessee in that spot tomorrow, minus the 6. A little bit of a revenge game, too. Last year, if you remember, it felt like Tennessee had that game in hand in the first half with Pittsburgh. Why am I forgetting the quarterback's name? Who's now with the Steelers?
Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett and Pittsburgh. And Jordan Addison played huge that day for the Panthers. No Addison, no Pickett tomorrow with Pittsburgh. I think that Tennessee goes in and beats them more than 6. So those are my 3 plays on Saturday. On Sunday, look, I got to be honest. The NFL scares the hell out of me when it comes to a gambling standpoint. I usually play the numbers. I usually play the totals in the NFL rather than betting on the games, because the NFL, it just you never know, man. I give the example all the time that Houston can beat Buffalo, and people are like, "Wait, Houston's playing Buffalo?" No, they're not playing. I just mean like the worst team in the league can beat the best team in the league. Vanderbilt ain't running up on Alabama and beating them. You know what I mean? Like, when you see Alabama and Vanderbilt on the schedule and Alabama's given, 35 points, I'm taking the Tide. When Houston's playing Buffalo and Buffalo's giving up 12 or 13 points, hell, it wouldn't be shocking if Houston won the game. Right? Just because the parity in the league is, they urge for it, they strive for it. I know that there is a hell of a gap between 1 and 32, but any given Sunday, anybody can win. And on opening Sunday of the season, you don't know nothing. You don't know anything. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know anything about the Falcons. The Saints play the Falcons on Sunday. Saints are favored by 6.
Money line.
That's
Put the little Saints money line parlay.
But then I look at the Falcons and I see Marcus Mariota as their quarterback.
Not bad.
And then I see Drake London, their first-round pick out of USC, is like their number one option, who was banged up during preseason, didn't even have a full preseason. They're urging him to get back for Sunday so he can be their top wide receiver. Now, wide receiver, outside the hash mark guy, Kyle Pitts is going to be the tight end that really is going to be the one that they move around, and I'd love to see him and Tyrann Mathieu going at it.
And I can't name another player on the Falcons team probably off the top of my head, except for the legend Calvin Ridley's probably betting on this game too, because he's out for
Deion Jones.
Oh, Deion. There we go.
Deion Jones. Who was the cornerback for Clemson that Jamar
AJ Terrell.
AJ Terrell
Cooked.
is on the Falcons. Yeah, I'm with you. Outside of that, I'm running out of
So
names.
that's what I did. I know it's hard.
Name the coach.
Oh, he's got that weird face. Dan, I think is his name.
No.
Weird face.
You're thinking of Dan Quinn, who was the former coach.
No, I know that. He's got like a double chin scenario.
Huge chins. A lot of chins.
He's an offensive guy. That's all I know
Is
about him.
this Stefanski?
No,
he's in Cleveland.
What is his?
His name is Arthur
Smith.
Arthur what?
Smith.
Arthur Blank. Still
Is the
alive
owner.
or dead? Alive?
I've got him alive. I've got him alive.
Wow.
He looks like the Grim Reaper.
Too rich to be dead.
Yeah, he comes down from the whenever he's on the sidelines, you're in trouble. Just kind of
I wonder
sauntering
how much
around.
I wonder how long the money kept the queen alive. I wonder how long she was supposed to be dead.
She looked like she died naturally.
This guy does look weird, Lloyd.
Yeah, he's got a weird face. He looks
I
like a
just think when
pedophile.
you get to a
Looks
certain
like-
tax
kinda looks
bracket, you
like
could
Nate.
probably extend your life by a decade just by the things. I mean, like, it looks like Brady is either killing himself
Yeah, he looks like a pedophile.
or like he's
Tom Brady?
extending his
He's
life.
going through marital problems.
Beyond
that's
that.
his look
Yeah,
right
yeah,
Yeah, Tom's wife.
I get that. I get it.
Yeah.
He's going to torch the Cowboys.
I get that. But
That's what I say.
I don't know. I don't know if the stuff that he's putting in his body right now is creating a longer life for him or he's killing himself,
I
is
think
what I'm
he's creating
saying.
a longer life.
I believe that the Queen, at some point over the last 25 years, injected something into her body.
I don't know. I don't think.
I think she's
That
natty.
probably
like
gave
that.
her, an extra 10,
Natty or not.
15 years.
Are you natty
I
or
mean,
not?
Saban looks like he's
That's
taking
what I'm
it.
saying. What did she get? I guess. Well, you don't know what he'll look like. It's hard to compare it now. Did she look good for 96? She didn't look
I thought
bad.
so.
I mean, she
Yeah.
had like
I mean, she got
bruises
old.
and stuff
I mean,
all
for
over her
96,
legs and
Katie.
well, yeah.
Oh
she
yeah,
lived
well she's trying to
96,
prolong
You
the
think?
throne,
But
dude.
they all live that long.
Give me
I
one
thought
more
she
kid.
could have passed for
They're
80.
so careful and well taken care of. I mean, they're regimented with their doctor's appointments, their meals, all that
See,
stuff. I
I
think
don't-
that makes a difference.
I don't think I could go through that. I don't think I could live on the regiment of being a king or queen or president or anything. Like you have to go to do this. Like no, I'm
Not today.
Yeah,
Oh.
like sit up and they like.
today.
I don't even want anybody to like get me ready.
Oh, I
Bills
gotta
and
make
Rams
a-
play
Yeah,
tonight.
exactly. Like this is.
I got
my-
the over. I'm not going.
This is what your king does.
Media appearance?
Send Louis.
Print
Seville
me more
Ju-
money. I'm down.
Seville Jr., whoever kept the Queen alive, is consulting Joe Biden.
Probably.
But so NFL lines. How do we know how we got there? How do we get there?
I don't know.
The currency of the queen. Did you
Oh,
see
we're
that?
talking
back and
about
forth again.
Arthur.
Arthur
Blank.
Blank.
Oh, yeah,
Arthur
keep
Blank.
that or
Arthur
line.
Blank.
Arthur
Too rich to
Smith.
die. Too rich to die.
Too rich to die.
Um,
But the Saints are exciting just to see the Saints on the field.
I agree.
finally.
And here's the thing about the Saints that I want to see. I just want to see everybody there.
Right.
I mean, like, I can't remember the last time I saw Alvin Kamara and Mike Thomas on the same
same
football
field.
field. I don't even know if Thomas is going to be there on
That's what I was
Sunday. I
about to
expect him
ask
to
you.
be.
Think
But I
he
mean,
is.
like Tyrann Mathieu and Marcus May, I hadn't seen that yet.
Well, you're not going to see Marcus May.
Yeah, you are. Why? There's nothing that's happened.
Well, yeah, he got in trouble.
Yeah, no, but I mean, there's nothing that's been
Oh,
ruled
that's
upon.
true. I guess he didn't do anything that bad. I guess.
Nah.
He said, she said.
Yeah.
I don't mind my safety
Police
swinging
arrest.
guns in traffic.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
this is my trying to come over the middle and get popped.
he's aggressive. What do you want from him?
He's come straight out of practice.
He's
didn't
a
have
ball
very
hawk.
much. Yeah. Double
I
cover.
wasn't going to pull the trigger.
I packed that thing on me too.
I'm just in phase.
But I mean, like, nothing's happened, legally
Right.
to him as far as like the repercussions of that yet. Now he's got a couple of cases pending, and whenever the hammer comes down, they may lose him for a year. But until then, play him every down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Longest yard.
get
Play
after
him
it.
while you got him.
Exactly.
So I mean, I expect to see Marcus May and Tyrann Mathieu in the field together, a Paulson Adebo and Marcus Lattimore, the entire secondary, playing out there together
game in Atlanta?
as one. Yeah,
Yeah.
in Atlanta. Noon, and then that defensive line. I want to see Peyton Turner and Cam Jordan. I want to see if Davenport's going to be able to get in there and play. I mean, I really and truly, I'm more excited to see the offense play.
Yeah, I'm so ready to see Jameis play.
You're handing me something.
Because I think that's what tells you what the season's going to look like. Because you've got the weapons around him, so now you can finally see
Elbows.
if he's got it. He's
Yeah,
got the
sold.
elbows and knees and
Yeah.
shoulders and hips.
What a teacher.
Shoulders.
That would be awesome if he
Oh.
substitute teacher and like we're gonna do kinesiology today. Like,
Oh, yes.
all right, here's how you should think about it. Your knees, try to put it together with me. It's like your shoulders, then your hips.
I'm riding with you,
Yeah,
James.
yeah.
I'm with you, man.
All right, now I'm sitting in my chair a little bit. I was like, this man's high like me. All right,
We're
your
both high.
elbows.
Let me see.
That's
What,
knee. See how they've been?
what is? Can we still get
ankles?
futures on MVPs
That's your wrist. No, the game's been played.
after last night?
Yeah, I think you have to. They might put like futures out. I mean, like they might adjust the odds.
Oh, you can't do it after the first game?
You might be able to, but I always put them in before.
Okay.
Futures Lloyd.
Futures
baby.
Lloyd. Put them on.
No.
Who you got? Who you got this year? Super Bowl.
At Bills. Josh Allen MVP.
really?
And
They
then
play like that
You
again.
had that before last night?
I did.
Cool.
I definitely
You
did.
did too?
Yes, I had Buffalo winning it this
I
year.
mean, he was amazing.
Yeah,
What
he
did
looks
throw?
great. It's
3
unbelievable.
touchdowns?
4.
4?
Well, no, he had 3 in the air.
Then
4.
he
we
stretched
ran one in.
Armstrong to one.
2
Yeah.
interceptions.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
he
dude,
was on
he
fire.
is a unit.
Gunslinger.
He really is.
Like, I mean,
crazy to watch him.
coming
Stiff
downhill
arm.
at you, bro. He is.
That's stiff arm. He looked like Derrick
was-
Henry.
and he's holding the ball like Walter Payton. I mean, he's holding the ball like he's hanging like a tennis ball.
No offers out of high school.
I love that.
No what?
No
Really?
offers.
You remember
No
what Baker
offers.
Mayfield said about
He
him when he
had
got
to-
drafted?
What?
He kind of like laughed at him. Remember,
Wow.
he,
I
like,
remember when
laughed at
Jalen
Buffalo.
Ramsey talked about him and
That's right.
said Josh Allen's trash.
Yeah.
Really?
I can't, like before his rookie season, I hope they start him. I can't wait to play him.
That's
Oh
right.
my God.
He did stink his first few
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, he didn't play well his first two
Wyoming
seasons.
was
Yeah.
his only offer. Like
And
he
he
had
went.
to
It's
send
not funny.
his tape out to everybody, and Wyoming was the only school that was like.
I tell you one thing Buffalo does well is they evaluate
Yeah.
their player personnel department. Whoever is running that, their roster. It's no coincidence why they're favored to win the Super Bowl. Their roster looks like the best in football.
Have they ever done a Hard Knocks?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I
No.
don't think
They
so.
would.
No.
But the other thing is,
Well, the rule to be on Hard Knocks is
you gotta
that
suck.
you can't make the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
To be eligible, it's the teams that don't make the playoffs.
So it could be
Okay.
Detroit every year.
That's why the Saints have never been on it.
I think they
That
should
would
do
be
it
cool if
Detroit
they
one
were
every
then.
year just to follow.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
been
yeah,
like
yeah.
Detroit, Houston,
I'm a
Cincinnati.
Detroit fan now. Are y'all not? Just
course.
from this
Absolutely.
Hard Knocks?
Dan Campbell.
I mean, I can't
Man
even
Campbell.
get over them.
I love the
them.
man.
Number one supporter.
Yeah, I love the guy.
But the other thing about the Bills is the other side of the ball is just as good.
That was
Their
the Notre
defense-
Dame.
That's what I'm
Their
saying.
defense had
I mean,
the Rams in
Is
a
he-
box.
Oliver.
Ed Oliver.
The big defensive lineman.
From?
Houston. Nice. Damn.
Wanted to go to LSU.
No, that's
Should
right.
have came to LSU.
First 5-star to go to Houston.
No doubt.
That was a big brain over there. Where is he now?
Major Applewhite.
No, the genius Todd Herman. Todd.
Todd.
I call him Todd all the time because
Yeah.
tough.
Where
would we be?
But I mean, like Tre'Davious White wasn't even playing last night.
What's wrong? How? I know he tore his ACL, but it seems like it's a long road
That was
to
against the
recovery.
Saints.
Yep.
Was that last year?
Did he tear it in the dome?
Yeah.
God damn it, that field.
Fucking
That was
turf,
like
dude.
Sunday night.
It's the turf, man.
It's the turf.
Mason Smith. Bro, that injury's haunting.
Oh,
Haunting.
my goodness.
I could see it in my
Yeah,
head.
I can see it too because the play.
At least
it's
it
the play.
wasn't as bad as Bill Grammatica's. Like, it wasn't an egregious celebration. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
He was just a little hop up and down.
A little jump.
How I should be able to do football, God. That was unfair.
Yeah, that was just football guy. We need you on that one.
Jameis plus 8,000 right now this morning on MVP at Caesar Sportsbook.
Take that little taste.
Why not?
Really, for real?
Why not? Plus 8,000. I mean, why not sprinkle 100 on it?
I have
Josh
two-
Allen wakes up this morning at plus 550 to be your NFL MVP. Patrick Mahomes right behind him at plus 700. Justin Herbert plus 900 behind him. Joe Burrow at plus 1,100 right now. We might
I have
sprinkle
that.
a little on Joey.
Already did.
You know what? Click. Yeah, I'm in.
I got a little on Joey, and then
Bip, bip.
I also have for
You need
the
your visor
Jameis.
on.
Look at you,
I feel like you need your visor on. You're just spitting it out.
Jameis to lead the league in passing.
Jameis to yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Can you vote on comeback player of the year?
Yep, I have him for that too.
Yeah, 100%.
You just bet the board over there.
Yeah, I do. Well, the odds are so good on the futures. You could take a couple of shots, and if you hit one, then you kind of cover you get all your money back,
Cover
and
the
then some.
losses.
Do you do well, like in game? Like I know you do well in all your bets, but like, do you keep a pretty good balance going?
No, he
Like,
fails
do
at
you
life.
live off of
Yeah,
your-
this is
do
my
you live
life.
Off of your winnings.
Wait,
A lot
what?
of the time, like, do you surmass a lot of winnings and like go
It's-
on vacation or like?
Oh, yeah, I mean,
Do you keep
in
it? Do you,
2019,
like,
I bought a
save it?
national championship ticket with the thing.
You did?
Yeah, because
Okay.
LSU was so undervalued all year, and I was like, bet.
Do you like
and then
keep
I bet
it
him
in
to
your
win.
account and save it up? And
You
then,
can
like,
deposit, but I usually just keep it in here.
I keep mine in there
because
too.
you
I'm
don't
just
want.
curious what
I
you
don't
do.
want to be moving a lot of money around. It's not a lot to move to begin with, and so once that thing hits zero, then you're pretty much all right. Let's reevaluate how we got here, put some more money in, and then start over. But
Like, what
if
are your
I'm
bets
always
like, is you like a $25?
yeah,
bet
20,
person?
25. You got
Do
to
you ever
keep.
throw in like 100 out or like a
Yeah, I'll
1,000?
go like 50, 100.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
I'm just curious.
But those are the big money plays.
Alabama.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I wouldn't even do that. I like it. That'd be like 15, and then look at it at
Really?
halftime and try to do it. See where we are. The live betting has changed everything.
Yeah.
I live bet the Bills last night again.
Oof.
I was like, they're not going to keep turning the ball over like this, because those are some fluky interceptions.
Yeah, they were.
And then I just assumed that the Bills were going to get it figured out because the Rams didn't look good on offense. And then they just started force feeding Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that still works.
Cooper Kupp,
open every
anytime
play.
touchdown, you got to
Good
take
He
it.
missed him
Lord.
a couple of times.
Yeah.
Where he was open.
Stafford didn't look good.
No, he didn't.
Elbows the best it's ever felt.
Well,
though.
they didn't even run Cam Akers at all.
No.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
I don't know.
I don't think they can run the ball.
They missed Whitworth.
Their offensive
Yeah.
line was bad.
They missed Whitworth bad. All right, some NFL spreads that are jumping out this weekend.
Money line parlay, 3-teamer. It is the Saints, the Bengals, and the Bucks.
Bengals minus 6.5 hosting Pittsburgh this weekend. Tampa Bay going to play Sunday night versus Dallas. That'll be a Sunday night game on NBC. Tampa Bay favored by 2.5 in Cowboy Stadium. I would take the Cowboys there.
Aw,
Wait,
yay.
who the Cowboys
That
play?
makes me
The
happy.
Buccaneers.
The Bucks.
Oh,
I fade the Cowboys every year.
Tom's 6-0
That
against the
makes me feel
Cowboys.
very happy.
Because their offensive line is hurt bad.
I know.
Like
Brady's 6-0 against the
really
Cowboys.
banged up. No Gronk.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It's Tom.
Got Julio Jones.
Tommy going through some shit.
I like that.
I
Focus
kind of
on
like
football.
that too. I hate
Stand
to
the ball off the 7.
I hate to bet against him.
You love a grudge, Tom.
But if I was to play this game, I would take Dallas plus the 2.5.
Just because you think Tom's off.
I don't think it's.
Well, no, it's the
Tom's
offensive
off.
line. They've
everything.
lost
I think everything
like 2
around
centers.
Tom.
But do you think he's off?
No.
Do you think this is his like,
Football's
final?
his go-to.
No.
Football's
I
really
think
his
football
girlfriend.
is his release. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Like he's about to go
People
out there
are
and just
worried.
ball.
People are worried about him.
My sanctuary.
He's worried because he's losing
People
Giselle.
Who?
in the football world, like the people writing
Who
articles.
sounds like
saying,
Cowboys fans? You're trying to talk about.
No,
Yeah, I would
think
be
he's
worried
still-
about him
I'm
too.
not worried about him. I think
Beat him
he's still great.
6
I think
times in
people
a
just
row.
think this is
Next
kinda
up on the
it for
herd.
him.
It's
You know,
Tom
he's
Brady
just
getting
so
left by
focused,
Giselle.
And
Yeah.
like we've seen this year, all the ebbs and flows. The I'm out.
He's hoodwinking y'all, man.
You think so?
Yes.
Is Giselle hoodwinking?
Don't
us?
do it. Maybe she's not, but maybe
Yeah.
that's just the fuel he needs.
Will she be at the
Maybe.
game?
No.
I don't know.
He's like,
We
he's
don't
like,
know.
you know what?
I mean,
Leave
is
me.
she in like Costa Rica or something?
I
Like,
kind of
she-
feel like she's.
She pieced out, and he's
I think
driving
she's
the
kinda
kids to school.
You
Out?
figure it out, Tommy.
Yeah. All right, I got it figured out.
Sweet.
Watch this.
Right.
Yeah.
I need a maid.
I can do that 50,000 more times.
I can't wait.
And they
to
all
know.
will be
I can't
here
wait to- I
today.
feel mad at her. Like, why would you put pressure on him and say anything about him playing football? Like, let him do this. He's probably
It's
got,
his-
what,
yeah.
2 years
He
left?
has to play
Like,
football. If he doesn't, he's gonna die.
I know. Like,
Yeah.
why
It's
would
like
you
Joe
call,
Paterno.
Why would you
You
call
can't back.
something right now?
They
Why would
probably
you-
had some type of
You think agreement?
not agreement, but they
Annulment.
probably talked about
Like,
this
yeah.
15 years ago, where he was probably like, "Look, I want to be the greatest of all time. I want to, and I want to do this in multiple cities. I want to do this and play until I can never do it again. And I want to be almost, like a case study. You know what I mean? Like he's got the ability to do this. But one thing that we do forget is that Favre, his first year in Minnesota, the year that New Orleans beat him in the NFC Championship game, he was the league MVP that year, and it wasn't even close. He was phenomenal that year. The year after that, his game fell off of a cliff. He was like tripping and falling back there, and I don't expect to ever see that happen with Tom Brady. But I do expect that when it starts to slip, it's going to be fast.
Yeah.
And it's going to be something that you see. At the end of last year, he was moved around the pocket a little bit, and he was forced to get out and run and try and keep play. And he looked old.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
he
I still can see him, like, shaking Brian Urlacher up as a young quarter. Like, he could move when he was able to move. But last year, there were some signs where you were like, ooh, man, he looks 45.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to look 44 out there. So
what time is the game? Is it an afternoon game or night game?
I think it's a 7
Sunday
o'clock.
night.
Oh, that's when Tom gets sleepy.
Oh my God.
It's bedtime.
No, I mean, I'm not
Wait
ready.
for the guy.
Sleepy Tom.
Unless
not
he's been
ready to
staying
say
up late.
that.
He might have changed his internal clock a little bit. Giselle had him kind of in line. Now he's maybe I'll stay up till 9 o'clock Eastern. Eat some pudding.
Eastern.
I feel like he's just a bionic man. He's hooked up to so many things.
He looked
when
old at
goes-
the end of last year.
Yeah, he did. That's why I was
mean-
worried about the time.
So
Forgot
you
what
take
down
away
it
his
was.
offensive line. I mean, all of his interior guys are gone, right? His center had a injury in training camp. His two guards were signed in free agency. One of them's playing with Burrow. No Gronk. And, I mean, it's just different. It's just a different group than what he took on when he got to Tampa Bay. And a lot like Brees late in his career, Brady is very dependent on his protection. Like, that's part of the scheme. He is trusting when he drops back that everybody in front is protecting him, so he can, just take these slight little slide steps of 1 or 2 feet in each direction, whether it's up, side to side, back, wherever it may be, to keep passing lanes open. He's not going to dance around and try and create space and get out of the pocket and, keep plays alive like that. And if
Micah
his
Parsons
offensive
on the
line,
other end.
Yeah.
if his offensive line is this their first game together, like
Looked like the Rams last night.
could look like LSU.
Yeah.
Where you just got a lot of looking around, like, what are we supposed to do? And that ain't a good predicament for Brady.
See, Bill said at least he didn't look as old as Brees when he decided to go walk the dogs in his Skechers.
When did that
Is
happen?
Brees pushing Skechers now?
Yeah, he
Oh
was.
gosh. It just gets worse for Brees.
I know.
Did you see? He had
The
that
Reggie
good moment.
Bush. The Reggie Bush when he was
That was a good moment.
That's what you want.
That was the best moment he's had.
He finally opened up and showed
His
how much he knows
football
about
mind.
football.
They were talking about that Reggie Bush play against the Eagles where he threw the little swing route and he got
Sheldon Brown
hammered.
folded him like a
And
cardboard box.
Bush was like, "Why'd you do that?" And Brady was like, "Well, the X safety blah, 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 like was picking it apart." And you were like, "Finally,
right?
He finally showed his genius.
Acumen."
Yeah.
And then he's gone
The
again.
robot ran out of batteries and he went human.
Charge him up.
He went human, for God's sakes. I mean, Brees used to be cool. That's the thing about Brees.
Yeah, he did.
It's like when he got to New Orleans, up until like he decided, I think it was like the first $100 million contract, is when his he
got that walk-ons
became
money?
like go through my publicist.
Yeah.
Like no, bruh. You know what I mean?
I feel like the players like him. You don't like him,
dude.
Reggie was stoked to see him.
I get that. I mean, he's their quarterback.
Yeah.
He ain't hanging with him.
I don't know.
You think Brees and Bush are going out to eat together?
You think Bush brought
You
Brees
think
to
Bush
strip club?
really looks at Drew Brees and is like, this guy's real.
Dude, he's coming with me.
Yeah, no doubt.
No, he's not
and
doing
look,
that,
maybe
but-
behind the walls, maybe in the locker room, Brees has got
9-to-5
that
friend.
personality where, he's like, hey, man, that's me in the media. I just play that stuff up. You know what I mean? And I'm sure guys would get that. But like behind closed doors, you got to be real. You know what I mean? Like, people are going to sniff that stuff out.
Yeah.
Quick. Real quick. Just like we do. Just like the public does. You know what I mean? Just like the public looks at Brees and some things and you're like, come on, man.
That's not true.
You know what I mean? Like that's
Like his playlist.
his playlist. Or like really what used to get me on Brees is when he would go to the sideline and he would look at that camera like it's like, bro, chill.
But have to know.
Chill.
Oh, he's looking at the cutouts?
Just always, just like, and knowing the camera's on, so he's like
You just looked at the same play for 10 minutes
chill,
straight.
bro. Chill,
Drew.
man. Just chill.
Cut it out.
He's not going to run it again. Tom threw the tablet.
Man, I smell bacon and it smells so good.
I hear it.
Incredible in here. What do
Is
we
that
have?
what
Is
we're
Nate
having?
up? Nathan Valaquez next here on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. We're eating compliments of our friends over at Iverstein's. Remember, over at Iverstein's, you can get on the Butcher Bundle, iversteinfarms.com. Our guy, Josh, the thespian, the handyman, is going to tell us all about it when we come back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Who y'all waving at?
Josh.
Josh.
The thespian and handyman.
You had 4 guys there, but they've built on that with a really nice run. We saw them get Paul Mabenga out of Georgia, but Zalant's hurt is big time. Tyree Adams is the number 5 player in the state.
Coach,
and
how impressive.
the number 10 offensive tackle in the country. I'm telling you, people aren't talking about Tyree Adams enough.
I mean,
you get Tyree Adams and Hurd, you're 1-2 punch at offensive I mean, just by the rankings definition alone, you'd have the number 3 and number 10 offensive tackles in the country.
Wow. I mean, I had no idea that Tyree Adams
that dude
was that big and that dominant after watching his highlights last Friday night. I mean, he looks like a pro left tackle.
Were you bundled up by the fire, watch some huddle?
Yeah, this was
huddled
just
up?
another
One of those film sessions?
Yeah,
Huddled up?
some sort of fire.
I'm in the recruiting game.
That's cool.
Bro.
So you liked him. He's a beast. I'm telling you.
I just didn't know he was that big. I didn't know he was that physical.
Georgia, Bama, all these other teams were trying to get a foot in the door and trying to swing that one their way. I mean, that was a big pickup for LSU. And Hurd would be too. Never hurts to get into Neville and St. Aug, does it?
Wow.
I mean, I think you feel good that you've got older guys in Brennan and Daniels. You've got a guy in Nuss who is a second-year guy and certainly has the upside and, kind of moxie you want at quarterback and can continue to be developed and maybe get his feet wet this year. We'll see, right? This is a wide-open quarterback battle. But you've got those guys. That gives you time to bring Walker along. And then you've got, if you get Ricky, you've got Ricky coming in. That's a nice run on guys where I don't feel like at any point in the next year or 2 years, even if someone transfers, you're never pressing the panic button and being like, God, we don't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
Like you've got option. Yeah, love it. I mean, again, on July 1st, they were ranked 50th and they had like 4 commits. And it was kind of many were pressing the panic button, or at least saying, hey, look, this has got to change. You can't stay on this course. And boom, boom, boom. I think at this point they averaged between July 1st and now it's like a commit every probably 4 days, 5 days, and high-level guys, and both in Louisiana and popping some national guys that are really good. And I've talked to people outside of LSU over in different camps, Georgia, Bama, wherever it might be, and they're saying LSU's putting together a nice little class over there, year one, picking right up. And I think the product on the field, I've always said, is like kids don't care if you're undefeated or you lost 2 or 3 games. Like in high school, you lose games. You're not going into a situation where you're like, oh, they lost this weekend, I'm out. Like, so struggles this year, or at least, if you go 8-4 or whatever it might be, recruiting momentum will continue to pick up. That won't deter it. So unless they fall apart on the field, I don't see a path where they don't stay in the top 5 because they've got guys they continue to knock down dominoes with. St. James is always good, and now they get Prion in. So you wanted to get back into St. James. You had Jones come, you lose Preston, now you get Prion. That's a good school to have a foot into. They've shaken up the staff a bit, so I'm excited to kind of see what they've got this year. But in terms of Prion, he's ranked everywhere as an athlete. I mean, LSU has recruited him at receiver, so that might put an end to the receiver run here. You've got 4 guys, and Kyle Parker and Jalen Brown from outside the state, Shelton Sampson, and now Prion inside the state. I guess you could take more. They only have like 8 scholarship receivers on the roster right now. It's like 8 good guys, but they're not as deep as you normally would be. So maybe they go beyond 4. But very good start for Cortez Hankton at the position. And I think a lot of people are, coaches and fans alike, are eager to see Prion as a senior because he's been at Ascension Catholic, which is 1A, I think. So a big jump up in classification and competition, playing at St. James and down in the River Parishes. I think it'll be interesting to see. He's going to return some kicks and punts and see kind of where they put him on each side of the ball, but receiver is going to be what everybody's watching. St. James is
And the nucleus of LSU's team has to be from Louisiana. You can look up every championship run, and the nucleus of all of those squads have been from the state. You've always had outside influences, whether it's been Brandon LaFell or Joe Burrow. You know what I mean? Like, pick the one that you wanna bring in. But there's always been that one big time player. I think that the weekend that LSU had this past weekend, where they brought in like Ashton Stamps from Rummel, who's a DB from New Orleans, 3-star guy, but you've seen his recruitment really start to pick up. But then when you look at what they did outside of the area, and look, I'm big on guarding the state. Get Louisiana first, and then build your class outside of that. But if you can go into other states and you can take, states' best players,
Nathan,
like LSU did over the weekend. Jackson Howard's the number 1 player in Minnesota. Minnesota doesn't have any football. I get it that they don't have the traditional football, players, high school programs that Louisiana, Texas, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia do. But if you can go in and take somebody's number 1 player, who was it? Tayshawn Bowers, a few years ago, the big stand-up defensive end who was out of New Jersey. Mm-hmm. He was the number 1 player out of New Jersey. That recruiting cycle came down here, took him a while, you know what I mean, to catch on. But by his senior season, he was a problem coming off the edge. I mean, you look at this guy, Jackson Howard from Minnesota, right? Like, I mean, he looks like an SEC football player. His physique, his style, the way he plays. You look at a guy like Joshua Mickens. Mickens is the number 1 player in the state of Indiana. All right, like Indiana football. You don't think of football when you think Indiana. You think basketball, right? But, I mean, you go in there and you take the top player who's a rush defensive end. When you watch the film, man, that guy looks like a SEC caliber type recruit, prospect. And LSU's able to get number 1 player in Minnesota, number 1 player in Indiana. Deshaun Womack, who we spoke to yesterday, a highly rated player in the state of Maryland. Deron Reed, who's a top flight player in the state of Georgia. I get going out and getting these elite players from around the country, and I think LSU has the brand to shop it nationally. But yes, I do believe that your core has to be from Louisiana. I think Dante Moore is the guy that they are waiting to find out what happens next. You're on camera, Lloyd.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't think he's coming.
I really think that Ricky Collins is going to be the quarterback that LSU is going after. I really do. We had Denbrock through here. We had Joe Sloan through here. We've talked to Marcus Randall. We've talked to Rohan Davey. We've talked to people around Collins, and I think LSU feels that he's the one that they want, and he's the one that they can get at this point.
What did Marcus say?
That LSU needs to pick it up. I think that.
Oh, they're making up ground, I'm sure.
But look, Joe Sloan's done great with the quarterbacks. He really has. I think that Sloan is he is a relationship builder. He is a guy that understands and really embraces recruiting, and he knows that they need to sign a quarterback in this class, and Ricky Collins is an SEC caliber quarterback that LSU just they didn't have the relationship. The program didn't have the relationship built like it needed to be once Kelly and them took the job over. So they had to make up some ground. But I do believe that when it's all said and done, when it all shakes out, I think LSU is going to get a quarterback, and I think that it's going to be Ricky Collins. All right, welcome back here to a Friday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet, as always online at GEAUX.Chevrolet.com. Football God, commercials have been long today. You're overseeing them, Football God. You're controlling this.
Yes, it's you.
It's your fault.
It is I.
Technical difficulties. I swear this never happens.
It's only when Lloyd's here.
This is the first time it's ever
Yeah, on my wedding night.
Hold the rope.
Pushing rope.
It's the hangover from Hold the Rope.
What?
He has a hangover from Hold the Rope.
Yeah, push the rope.
Give me that rope, actually.
Yeah.
I'm going to hang myself with it.
Hold on, sometimes this works.
Where my dogs at last night?
Great.
Yeah, Road Dog.
Good look. Good breakdown with Kevin Falk. Got the coach's point of view from Kevin Falk.
Who was the guy they found
Got
in
the
closet
quarterback's point of view from Roe.
Nice.
So,
What'd he say?
He used to do karate.
He said he thought Brian Kelly should have went for 2 on that last play, and he thought Jaden Daniels played well enough to win. He thought he missed some things, but that's to be expected. First game. I
don't know what else Jaden Daniels could have done. Like, I really don't. You go back and watch that game, it's like, people that are, and again, I have been driving the Nuss bus. I haven't been saying, I've been saying this kid, he's the guy.
You have.
And after watching game 1 of that offensive line and Jaden Daniels' ability, really at this point, I think you can only play one quarterback. Just by you got to get everybody on the same page. If you take him out and put another player in, to me, that's a setback. At this point, because you're trying to gain chemistry and really kind of bring people along and get confidence. And they need tomorrow. And no disrespect to Southern at all, but they need a get right game. They need to go out there and execute. And I would leave the starters in as long as possible. And I've always kind of been against that. I've always said develop and play and get guys experience, but for where LSU is right now, instantly, they have too many questions they need answered immediately about their, first 22. And, that offensive line, whoever the combination and whatever rotation they want to settle in on tomorrow, I'd play those guys 3.5 quarters.
How do you think this game is going to go? Have y'all talked about this yet?
No.
Point-wise? What
That's
do you
what
think
I was
it's
about
going to look like?
I was about to ask, kind of to that same vein, if they go up a lot, you still don't think that you'll see Nuss?
Because I don't think you want to. I think you'll see Nuss, but I'm talking about spots that you're trying to
right tackle.
No, the whole offensive line.
Yeah.
Center.
Yeah.
You know, linebackers.
They had some bad reps.
Safety. I mean, did you see PFF graded Dellinger the top center in the college football on Saturday?
I mean,
he graded out the highest.
Dellinger.
Wow.
Yeah. No doubt.
It was really the one snap.
Oh, good for him.
And really, it wasn't Dellinger that was getting beat. It was really the people on side of him, like guard, tackle. Like it was a couple reps where you see like Anthony Bradford and Cam Wire, like
the right side
in the
was
chase
a headache.
technique, like literally chasing the defensive line.
Well, there's a lot of reps where they're getting up off the ground.
Yeah,
right.
And
You know what I mean? Like-
even Will Campbell had some reps where he was like in the quarterback's lap.
Yeah.
But he held his own.
First play of the game.
Yeah.
Do y'all think Southern's going to score a touchdown?
Yes.
You do? You think they'll score more than one touchdown?
I kind of want them to.
Yeah.
Because I want like
Scored 86 points last week.
But the team they played,
I know.
Bro was explaining it. It was a Florida
Right.
team. They like literally just got football this year.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I watched the highlights of the game and it looked like a high school team.
But do we think this is going to be a blowout?
Yes.
Yes.
The point
tomorrow?
spread's 40.
You think it'll be a blowout tomorrow?
The point spread's 40 plus. I would take LSU. I think LSU's pissed. I think LSU's trying to come out here
Prove
and
it.
establish something. They need to go out there and execute. They need to play. They need to get their minds right for what next Saturday is going to be like. You know what I mean? When Mississippi State comes to town, you got to have a lot of these questions that we're talking about out loud. You need to have some sense of certainty on what they're going to look like. You may not have to have the exact answers on what the offensive line is going to be, but you better know who the combinations and what the rotation is going to be like. I mean, you can't go in there like you did against Florida State wondering, you know, should you put Tremont Shorts in and he's in by the fourth possession of the game? You know, I mean, it's just you got to find the guys that can start to play together, build chemistry together, and you know, I would say the same for like cornerback. You know, I mean, they need to play those guys as much as possible. Those guys need as many reps as possible. Safeties, they need to play as much. Linebackers, you know, I mean, some of these guys that are going to add depth to the defensive line: Tyjee Hill, Quincy Wiggins, Desmond Little, Savion Jones. I mean, some of these guys on the defensive line, they need to play a lot. You know, just as far as getting them ready to give you reps within the season. So these games in years past have been looked as you know, just kind of Passover games and you know, don't get hurt type games, which obviously you do not want to get injured anytime, but especially tomorrow, where you're trying to save all your bullets, save all your ammo for, you know, when SEC opponents come in or you got to travel. So you know, I think that tomorrow you can't take any the Southern game, the New Mexico game coming up in 2 out of the next 3 weeks are enormous for LSU. You know what I mean? They're sandwiched in between Mississippi State and Auburn. They can't take these games and can't take them off. That's why I think you play your starters extended time. That's why you play guys that you're intended to play, you know, deep into the season. Play them tomorrow. I mean, who's going to be the number one running back next weekend? I know Emory's going to be eligible, but as far as behind him, is Armani Goodwin going to be the guy? Is Noah Kane going to be the guy? Is it going to be Josh Williams? Whoever it is, play him. Give him the ball.
Emory will be back in for Mississippi State?
Yeah, it's a 2-game suspension.
15-game suspension.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
2-game this year.
Right. But I wanted to ask you this earlier in the show when you were talking about you want to see like LSU correct the correctables. How did you get to the point? What were we doing in spring, fall, camps for extra points where you're like, this will work? How did that not get sniffed out ever?
They might not have like did a rush during.
Well, I
like,
think you should probably
fall
do that
camp.
at some point. Yeah.
You know
what
what
do
I
you
mean?
mean?
Because
Like how
special
they didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
Not
Because
being
I mean, there
able to
was two that they walked through.
Well, the thing that surprised me the most is more than just spring and all that, how you don't see it the first time, just fix it for the second one.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's,
doesn't
that's when it's out of hand.
Right. Doesn't everybody kind of do the same thing on extra point?
Yeah.
It's literally
Absolutely.
I mean, you do that from middle school.
That's
8th grade.
Because I saw, shout out Tiger Droppings, always doing the Lord's work. They had a picture of 2019's, of course, 2019 special teams alignment, and what year were we in, 2022?
Mm-hmm.
And they were different. Like the wings were set back more.
Yeah, they were more
like behind, like
they were more
this-
V'd.
like a U.
Yeah,
And instead
Right.
of like a
right, they almost like built him a pocket rather than keeping people away from him.
Yeah.
Because
Right?
you gotta
Like-
if you're angled inside, like if you're angled like we're talking about, you make that outside guy run around.
We're not worried about.
I know, but I'm saying like you want that outside guy to
but
take that.
It's
long
not
pass
the
and
outside
step
guy is the
inside.
problem. Like
this guy coming up the middle.
It's the guy that's coming
Coming
in
through
the
with
middle,
that
and I mean,
spot.
like the
We need a
royal
whiteboard.
sin of extra point and field goal
Inside
is
pressure.
not to get beat
Inside.
inside. I mean, like,
We're all stepping inside, coach.
I mean, yes.
stepping inside.
I mean, like, you better be leaning, pushing, stepping inside, because if you don't, it's so obvious too on film. Like, I mean, like if you went back, you're like, oh my god. I mean, the guy just like steps over and like, it's like he's blocking like a kid shot. You know what I mean? He's like, get that out of here. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like he could have picked it off the tee.
Then the last one they blocked it and it almost went in.
It did. It hits
Still almost
crossbar.
squeaked over.
It hits
Hit
crossbar.
the, yeah.
And I still got Florida State fans tweeting at me saying that they should have blown us out.
Yeah.
They should have blown LSU out.
When are they going to leave us alone?
Toss
Never,
dive
hopefully.
on one.
I hope not.
Never,
be
hopefully.
over
They are
after this
great
weekend?
for business. The
Yeah.
insecurity of
I know,
Florida
but
State
my
fans are
God.
fantastic for our
I
numbers.
mean, they know they're not going to
I
be
get
good.
scared to open up my Twitter now when I see notifications.
scared.
I'm
They
like,
got no
I'm
harm.
really
Oh, you want me to
saying
come
now.
to your defense? I'll break somebody's back on Twitter.
I will. I know y'all will. I'm never scared. I know Noah will. I know if Noah gets pushed too far, I know he'll come and back me.
Yeah, right
I'm
now
never
it's just
worried.
it's enjoyable.
Yeah, it is.
Having a
It's
little
kind
fun
of just
with 'em.
like,
Like
look at these dumbasses.
Somebody posted a picture of Norvell holding up the little trophy they got from Sunday.
Oh my
And I was
god!
like, oh my god.
Guy hasn't won a trophy in 3
I was
years.
like, this is the point that they've gotten to.
I mean, they like
The
sprinted-
Louisiana kickoff special trophy.
They like sprinted to the LSU sideline after they won.
I know.
I was like,
Has Notre Dame's special teams been bad? Like, is this like a thing?
I don't know that.
Where did that come from?
I don't know that.
I'm looking at Notre Dame missed extra points. I'm just trying to find if we did this a
Should've
lot.
seen this coming.
Yeah.
I
Missed
don't
one last year against Cincinnati. 24-13 really put the offense on tilt.
I mean, there was only one coach that came over from Notre Dame with him.
That's what I'm saying.
You know? I
And
mean,
LSU had a pretty good one already that retired, but now he's coaching
the
again.
best. They didn't have a good
where's
one.
he coaching at?
They're the best.
I think he went to the Breakers for a little bit, but I think he got scooped up again.
Missed that guy.
But the other thing is, whenever LSU had this game last season, they had McNeese at home. for the
Houston
home opener.
Gamblers.
You had
God, what a steal.
you ended up kicking like 3 50-plus yard field goals. You couldn't get down the field. The first drive, you had to go for it on 4th down 3 times against McNeese.
Talk to his daddy.
Like, you can't see a game like that again for the second season in a row against an in-state school.
The McNeese game was about as low as you can get
Oh,
without
right.
losing. We're going for it. Like,
3 times
you
on
better.
the first drive.
Shit. What else we gonna do?
This team is bad.
That makes my
Give me
head
that- give me
hurt
that play
to hear
sheet.
him do that.
You're good at it.
Yeah, it is good.
Deviated steps.
It's not as deviated as
I break down film.
Talk to his daddy too.
I forgot they went for it 3 times in
Oh
the
my
first drive
God,
against
Yeah,
McNeese.
It was just as
against his son.
His own son, his own blood.
and we were all
Beat
excited
the
about
shit out my dad.
all excited about Cade York's field goals. We're like, but he's kicking them against McNeese. We can barely get across.
Another
the 50.
50-yarder.
Against me.
LSU football Twitter, like, Jesus.
Like, he had the official count. Like, it's a Cade York account now.
But
Mute
tomorrow
this.
has to be a blowout. Like, it has to be. You can't have a repeat of that.
Football God said 41-10. That's kind of what I was thinking in my head.
Yeah.
So
That'd be fine.
Are you
take
football
it.
god?
We'll take it.
Football God said that.
You're the football guy.
So they don't,
football guy right
they
now?
don't cover.
She's the football godmother.
41-10. I don't think they cover.
I feel like he knows me though.
Yeah, we probably know him.
He probably knows you pretty well.
Curious. What if it was David? It's not.
He
Jeff
knows,
and Kidder.
He knows you really well.
He didn't have to do this.
know her from the inside out.
Ew. Me.
It's not speculative. It's a speculum.
All right, we're about to eat breakfast. Compliments of our friends over at Iverstein's. We're going to take a break, let Katie stop blushing, and we'll be back right after this.
Very red.
Driven and powered by Go
If you want to
Chevrolet.
see how she got so red, go to Women's Total Health.
Don't let the name fool you. Men's Total Health has offerings for the ladies, too. Guys, is your wife or partner suffering from urinary incontinence, low sexual desire, or pain during sex? Then the O shot might be for her. Don't let it scare you. It's totally natural. It's PRP. And Mike Roach and the crew at Men's Total Health will make you as comfortable as you can be. Contact me for more information, Katie at jordyculottashow.com, and I'm happy to tell you everything that Men's Total Health has to offer for the ladies.
I'm not saying that the sky is falling, but I'm saying you're starting to see trends that are not normal within Louisiana recruiting, where you're seeing routinely the top players. I know that Arch Manning was never coming to LSU. Hell, I even know Eli Holstein was never coming to LSU. But I thought Derek Williams was going to come down to the end and he was going to have a chance to go to LSU. It felt like Derek Williams was never even close to coming to LSU. Right? And maybe it's the money. Maybe it is. I don't know what the deciding factor is. I know this, that after last night, I got some reaction from some college coaches around the country that just saw it, and they have Louisiana ties. It's nobody that's like watching the show looking. It's people that are just curious about what's going on at LSU and have Louisiana ties that are on staffs right now at Power 5 schools and said, bro, you're spot on when you're talking about Frank Wilson. As somebody that is recruiting against LSU, that is going into Louisiana, we're looking around and we see purple and gold polos coming through the schools, and everybody's wondering, why isn't Frank here? Why isn't Frank in Louisiana? I'm not saying that it's right, wrong, or it's indifferent. I'm just telling you that the competition is saying, hey, man, there's a hole opening right now in Louisiana because they don't have their top soldier protecting it. What else we got? One more. Voicemail. Hang on 1 second, Jamil. We're coming to you after this voicemail.
They're talking. We're all snapping at her. Shut up.
Shut up back there.
I was just calling to find out when the Jordy Culotta Invitational is going down. Don't make it soon because it's too damn hot. I know y'all know that with the lack of AC going on at the joint. And if Rico Delgado's listening, he's a bitch. Send my condolences to Jock. Bye. I was just calling to find.
That's awesome.
Bro, that's the Call Hall of Fame.
There it is. That is.
That's the one seed.
That's what we needed.
Yeah, that's perfect.
That's what we've been looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't play it long. And you know what? We need to cut that up. Play that last part again. Let me hear that last part. We should be able to cut this part up.
I know y'all know that with the lack of AC going on at the joint. And if Rico Delgado's listening, he's a bitch. Sorry, WAFB.
Sorry, WAFB.
That'll be a fine, wherever you are. Whoever you are, where are you calling from?
Spring, Texas.
Okay, I love it, dude. See, that's what we need. We need to know your name.
Hey, Baton Rouge, when traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, whether you need to fill up your vehicle or your belly, stop by Go-Mart and On The Go Deli. Go-Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you might need on your trip. So stop by Go-Mart at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left, and visit Tom and Wright Granning and their awesome team at Go-Mart.
Welcome back to a Friday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Ghost Chevrolet. I don't know why it's taking us so long to eat this, but this might be the one seed.
Mm-hmm. Really?
The All-American Breakfast The thespian Josh is here, the handyman, the cook, the chef, the delivery man, Butcher Bundles, IversteinFarms.com. Take it away. I'm going in.
You get he's right there munching on our pork breakfast sausage patty, which is delicious. We have a
buttermilk biscuit.
Buttermilk biscuit. Better than that, that's actually some of Iverstein's grass-fed beef lard baked into that.
In the biscuit?
In the biscuit, yeah.
Oh my God.
I know. I probably just gave away a secret.
I gotta work today, bro.
Yeah, it's nice. And then I got 2 kind of eggs in there for me from our Little Brown Egg Farm up in DeRidder, local egg.
DeRidder.
Yeah.
Home of Johnny Jones.
DeRidder, the best eggs.
Yes.
That's what they're known for.
So there's some scrambles in there. there's some scrambles and some sunny side ups because I'm a runny egg person, but
options.
Options, yeah. Oh, and I can't forget our bacon, like our award-winning bacon. And I apologize if you like it extra crispy. I just kind of
holy shit, bro.
Yeah. Yep. All of this is
the sandwich bite.
You brushed some butter on here, didn't you?
I did. Yeah. Yep. Everything is found at Iverstein.
Did you
biscuits,
love it?
Bacon, sausage, the eggs.
Is the butter for the same butter that you put inside the biscuit? Is that what's on top of the biscuit? Like, do you use
That's a weird question.
It's a weird question, but I'm getting used to
Why
this
would you
now.
put
So
different butter inside the biscuit and on the
Well, he said he used lard, and I don't think a lot of people have lard,
you
at
can
tubs
get it at
of it.
Iverstein's in our
Yeah,
cooler section,
that's where I was going to get to.
Yep.
If you want it, because this is what makes the biscuit the biscuit. I mean, the butter on top and the butter baked into it is like it seems like it would be like a hack.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think one day I got to go to Uncle Earl's and hang out with you.
Absolutely.
Today.
This is to be sober. Yeah.
Today could be that
See what
day.
you're really taking, bro. What's going on with you?
Yeah. But yes, you get the lard in there. We render it down, cook, so we do have a lot of people come in and get that. We also have a Feliciana's Best.
Oh, wow.
If I said that correctly, Feliciana's Best Creamery. So we actually have their butter and Creole cream and milk and everything like that too. So, I mean, you could go all in if it was like, if you wanted to do, I like this tailgate bowl I made. This is like tomorrow Saturday, we're going to start tailgating,
Perfect.
right? I learned this secret from my guy, my first tailgate, like jambalaya pot thing, right? Where I was like, holy shit, that's like 50 gallons of food. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? But he said, well, I'm making it, I fry a pound of bacon in the morning. And we have bacon with our beer while we start tailgating. But then I use that bacon fat as the fat for my jambalaya instead of butter or whatever to kind of get it. So
The biscuit sandwich with this biscuit.
yeah, that would be nice. You could do too. Is like cut that open and just put like a
what falls apart
fried
when you try
egg
to
in
pull
there
it,
with
which
a little
is the side of a
bacon.
good
Oh,
biscuit.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's perfect.
So along with the
I
wraps
feel you've
that
never
you
eaten.
do.
It's like you've never eaten before.
No, I'm trying to feel out if they have these ideas or not, and I don't want people to steal
looking
them.
at Jordy over there like
Oh,
bent
yeah.
over like just nonstop.
Well, if you can combine bites, like if you can take sections of the plate and put them together for the perfect bite, you've got
Yeah.
Jordy's heart. Like,
Yeah.
if like call complementary foods that go together.
They do, and there's nothing.
Look at him.
Yeah, breakfast.
Oh yeah, he got me.
Italian,
bro. He's got the Italian pasta stance. He's like,
He does.
I'm spilling it right back into the
twirling my
bowl.
eggs.
Yeah.
He does.
I even brought the cast iron from the house.
See, that's what I was asking these
smell.
questions.
Yeah.
I didn't know if he had brought the butter or if he.
The only dumb question was that the same butter inside is on top. That's all.
Right. Well, I didn't know if he had brought the butter with him,
I
or
mean,
if,
what was
if they were pre-made.
What was
and
last
the butters.
week? What's the difference between chili and spaghetti sauce?
It's still a valid question, and it's the spices.
And his mom's a damn chef.
Oh my god.
But I was gonna ask if, since you already have like the breakfast wraps,
Yes, phenomenal.
are y'all gonna
Those are good.
are y'all gonna dabble in like a biscuit where you already make the pre-made biscuit sandwich, put that in the.
Probably. I think they're kind of looking at the burritos the way it is. Saturday and Sundays we do like a full-fledged like brunch menu, so you find more of that
Might need a nap.
on there. Yeah, that's great.
He's out.
That's what I'm trying to pump up your spirits. I know it's been a long week around here.
Yeah, they've been beat down.
Why?
Beat down.
I really care.
Can you get extra points?
I mean, this breakfast, dude. So, you can get this at Iverstein's, like this type of all-American breakfast
Every
on the
single
line.
thing.
Yeah.
Have you said that? I haven't been listening. I've been
Yeah, he
Yeah,
did say
Saturday
that.
and Sunday you can get that. The classic. I think they call it the farm breakfast, right? Kind of the go-to staple, which I think is Sometimes people get crazy, right? Like, and
I agree. Don't overthink it, bro.
People mess
Don't
with
overthink
their
it.
pizza.
Give the
People
ball to
mess
your
with
best
their
player.
burgers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't need a PB&J burger with an egg on
Thank you.
top and
Oh,
Tabasco.
thank you,
and-
thank you, thank you.
Hatch
No,
chili.
No, quit
Feed that to
ruining
Copper.
it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, it's a,
Staples for pizza. I like it. Oh yeah, I like a garbage pizza, a veggie pizza. I get like that. I don't want to get into the debate about pineapple, but let's quit putting mandarin oranges and all sorts
Pineapples
of crap.
belong on pizza.
Ew, mandarin oranges.
No.
Football God wants to know. Question: milk in your scrambled eggs or not?
oh.
So yes, I do.
Really? Me too.
I go milk too.
Just for
Yeah.
the color or the taste?
Usually I can kind of. This is gonna sound weird, but I like to spread it out. You know what I mean? So I think it gives
Hell
me
yeah.
like more of the scrambled. Yeah.
Big spray guy.
Yeah.
So these don't have any milk in them because I didn't bring any. So if
And
you're
we
like-
certainly don't have any. So.
Yeah. You can or you can't. Like when I make eggs for my little girl, I throw a little milk in there to kind of,
Yeah.
so I can eat too.
Is it what, for the fluff?
Yeah.
Yes.
They say that, fluffing in the.
Any special hours for Saturdays pregame?
They're going to be
tailgate?
open. They'll be open from 7 to. I'm sorry. They do brunch on Saturdays and Sundays, which starts a little later. So they're going to open up at 8, and they'll be open to the normal 4:00 business hour on Saturday. So
Great place to pick up tailgating.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Easy,
easy stop in, pick
I stopped
up.
in yesterday, and it's like it's
brutal.
packed to the house with sausage ready to go, hot dogs, burgers, hand patted burgers frozen for you to take out and get that
Gotta
hand
have 'em.
patted. Yeah, all that stuff right there. If you
Pulled
want to
pork?
go, yeah,
What about the alcohol situation there? Can you drink yet while you're up in there having brunch?
yeah.
Is
Yeah,
it
they
bring
do.
your own though, or
No,
you can buy it there?
they can buy it there. They do.
Buy
they
your
do
little
some-
champ.
Oh, that's the only thing that's missing, and I'm like, dang, I wish I would have brought OJ.
Little mimosa.
Yeah.
Because I see them Bud Light cans, and I said,
Well, we did used to drink on our Friday food segment because they would bring a cocktail.
That's
with
what I
whatever
was
they
going to
made,
do
and
because this
It
needs
got
a
weird
beer mosa.
sometimes.
This breakfast
Let's
needs
get
a
weird.
beer mosa.
That was great. Well, that's
It
my
was.
that was my
Football
mother.
season. We
That-
should get weird.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mom's
get
big
weird.
on the. It's not a meal if you don't have a drink with it.
I love that.
I'm drunk right now.
Yeah. Oh.
You are?
Smell like beer.
KD.
High right
No.
now, actually.
But
Yeah.
those, you guys ever dabbled in the beer mosa?
I don't do
No,
the beer
I'm
mosa,
not.
Did you
but
say beer most?
Beer
What do you,
mosa.
What
What
is
is
that?
that?
So we
It
mixing
is,
beer.
it
And
is beer with OJ.
What do you mean?
I'm
And I'm not. And I know don't do it if you're like an IPA, stout, snuff.
no, this is your
Loco.
old natural Coors Light.
Get the
Beard
Coors
Light.
Light, but PBR is fantastic. High Life is good. Budweiser, like
So
get
you
that.
put orange juice in
Yeah,
just the beer.
top it off the orange juice.
You know
Oh,
this?
it's fantastic.
Yeah,
You like it?
fraternity. I don't do that, but I'm
You
not
should.
I'm not a big beer guy, but it does
Yeah.
make beer taste better. But I just
Yeah.
go straight. I like the old buzz of like a little champagne in the morning.
doubt.
It's like, oh, we're up on our feet, we feel
No
good.
doubt.
Yeah.
Then it's like you start fading a little bit. You got to go back to it. And it's like, all right, we're gonna have a day.
People do. I'm
Yeah.
back and
It's-
forth because
it's
I
a-
like champagne. Like I
It's a
could,
steep cliff.
Absolutely, you don't want to
It's a
do too
steep
much.
cliff,
You got to
yeah.
switch to something else.
Yeah.
But that initial high of the champagne
Yeah.
It's
is
about the transition.
bubble.
so that's
Yeah.
why
It's a
you
great
do
smile.
beer mosa. It's an easy
Great buzz.
transition.
yes.
You know, easy transition. But I like. See, I wish I could be Winston Churchill and just like drink champagne with lunch.
You can.
Yeah. So I think. So I think champagne is a good.
Was that his?
Side.
Was that his shtick?
Oh, it was notorious. I mean, the guy had a drink with breakfast and a drink with lunch, and then switched to
A drink for dinner.
scotch at dinner.
And a
And,
cigar all the
Roll
time.
through.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
But-
what's the famous quote? Some lady was getting onto him, and he's like, "Oh, Winston, you're a drunk," and he's like, "I may be, but tomorrow I'll be sober, and you'll still be a bitch."
You really said that?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's good. But yeah, man, I'm excited for the weekend. Football, come get your
I think you're
stuff.
talking to the queen.
I think this is going to be a really fun thing. I like what you had said about it being a good thing for Baton Rouge this Saturday.
Yeah, man. It really is.
Like Southern and LSU, like that's going to be. I mean, I think bring the city, like the whole. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be fun.
No, it should, man.
fun
It
atmosphere.
absolutely should. It's the first time this has ever happened. Being from here, somebody that understands the history of both universities and, really prideful of the city and what comes out of here. I think Saturday is going to be a great day for the city of Baton Rouge. Just everything that goes into it. Hopefully the weather, really more than anything, will comply because I think it'll be a beautiful day as far as just celebrating, bringing people together, food, smells, the music, obviously everything that's going to be on campus tomorrow should be awesome.
Should be a
and
good
if
time.
you are looking to start your day from for tailgating and you want to knock it out today, go over to Iverstein's. They are located in the Perkins Crossing Shopping Center that you can find right there on Perkins Road in between Bluebonnet and Essen, and you can stop in and see them today. Tell them you heard it here on the Jordy Culotta Show. You can stop in tomorrow morning. They crank up at 8 o'clock. Breakfast, brunch, tailgate selections, all for you over there. And don't forget about IversteinFarms.com. The Butcher Bundle, click on the link, and this big, sexy thespian sitting right next to me will be knocking on your door with a bundle full of meat.
I don't knock on your door.
I got meat for you.
I bet.
Somebody order a bundle of meat.
I've had
like a Santa Claus
bag. And nothing else. No clothes, just a bag of meat.
You probably sell a lot more bundles.
I
doing that.
probably should. Like, I have had a couple people. Oh, can you knock? You know, because I do requests, as you can get a hold of me through email, and so I like to help it out.
Should come in next time, Joshua.
Drinks,
You
champagne.
can answer the door in a row.
Josh,
it's my meat
show.
man.
Come on in.
It gets so hot that
Right
I think
this
people
way.
are like, I want to know it's here, so I can
That's
like
true.
bring it inside.
That's
but,
true. No hot meat.
No.
Wait,
No
so,
hot meat.
I have hot meat. But
you need to go to the doctor. So you drop it off at the door, and then how do they know it like delivered?
Either they show up for
Email.
work or they,
You've been
Okay.
you've been
You've been
delivered?
served. Yeah.
right.
Okay.
Served.
All right, Josh. Have a great day. How we feeling about the game? Tell me your experience from last week to this
Oh
week. How we feeling?
man, I don't want to beat a dead tiger, right? Or a dead horse.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. See what I did?
Well,
there?
there's a tiger rolling around Homo right now.
Allegedly.
But that was embarrassing. You know, I don't think Florida State's a good program. I mean,
Watch your Twitter mentions, bro.
Man, you're dead
watch
now
yourself.
on Twitter.
Hey, they're 2-0 for the first time since like Dion, so we'll give it to them.
Wasn't that long ago?
And I have a friend who's like a diehard Florida State fan, so it's like
Really?
Yeah. Tell
so
that guy.
listen to those.
Tell them you're on the Jordy Culotta Show. See what happens.
To like you know for those texts to start rolling in on Saturday.
Tell that guy I said.
Yeah, you know, but hey, I'll say this: like I thought JD looked good. You know, I think he's kind of the man for the job with that offensive line we have. Like, I think he's going to be able to get out and escape, make some plays. I love the fact he didn't turn the ball over through the air. I mean, I like to see those yards per completion a little higher, but I mean, over 200 yards, three touchdowns or 2 touchdowns and no interceptions, like.
We'll take that.
And he made that throw at the end.
Yeah,
I mean,
bro.
that's a hard throw. Over the head in the back of the end zone.
Layered.
I was like, I thought he was going to tuck and run, right? And it just like pulled up, and it was like on the money and a great
zipped
catch and a
that
great
thing.
yeah. So I was like,
Rose said he put it in perfect spot.
yeah. I said okay. I mean, I think you know, I think that the popular opinion that I'm seeing now is Nelson, you know, make a switch for the quarterback. But I just don't think I think Nuss gets killed behind that.
Bro, you could
offensive
put
line.
John Elway back there. You could put Lamar Jackson back there. You could put, Josh Allen back there. I mean, like you have to. They have to have some sense of a plan and protection.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? If
and
you don't,
they
it
didn't
doesn't
see
matter.
that. You know, they didn't see. I didn't see any sort of offensive game plan. It looked like Les Miles 2.0. I know Brian Kelly's going to get better, but hopefully. But you know, like okay, it's the first game, but you had all that excitement, man. I saw it on the TV, and I know y'all were probably there, but you saw like that dome, you know, with the fireworks, and it was like packed, and it was
pretty
like
cool.
The LSU's entrance into the
entrance into
stadium.
the thing,
and,
the blackout.
LSU by a million.
Oh, exactly. Like
And-
if you like, I was at home and was getting pumped. It was like, oh my goodness, you know what I
like
mean?
how
We
they darkened the stadium, man.
the little my baby girl went to her grandparents for the night, so my wife and I
Oh, wow.
cooked some steaks and stuff on the grill and like
Not
getting,
bad.
oh my goodness, and then that's what we watched. You know, we're like, oh.
Oh,
By the end of the night, I'm showing her like how to mock draft fantasy football on the computer. You know, like, and then we they were celebrating the last minute or whatever.
I play in this one league where we do salary cap, and when you do the salary cap, you have to actually.
So
I
that
know,
was good.
I know.
Thank you,
know.
Josh. I'm going to bed now.
How did your draft go?
It went really good. I had, it was like a nice weekend. I had one on Friday, a regular kind of redraft league.
Who'd you get first overall? Who'd you go?
On Friday, I had the 8th pick, and I took my boy Najee.
Ooh,
Oh, they kind of slid a little bit.
Yeah, and then on the
coach.
way around, I took DeAndre Swift because everybody was taking receivers because it's PPR,
Yeah.
which I don't like because then you start valuing people and James White has a fantasy career because you count.
He catches
catches
8 catches for 15 yards.
But that was really kind of fun. Of course, then the game and kind of hung out and the holiday and everything like that. So I had another final one on Monday with some college chums that we just kind of mess with.
How many leagues?
3. Yeah.
Gotta win one.
Play the numbers. Yeah, just play the numbers.
But I like this weekend. I'm super excited for NFL to kick off. Last night was Bills Mafia. Like that team just looks good. I think there's a reason why they're like a favored.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the best roster.
And you're thinking at half like, oh man, this is a close game. Yeah, okay, this is. And then they came out and were like, hey, we played 4 quarters.
Right.
I had listening, of course, watching some of the feeds or whatever online, and guys were like, "Oh man, Stafford's not going back out there. He's getting blown out." It's like, bro, this ain't college.
Yeah,
go back out.
Like you're gonna get your 40 yards because he's gonna go out there and throw. Like this is prime time. Like if you were this is when Vegas wins or loses. You know what I mean? It's like these 3 minutes and a team's down by 3 scores. It's like.
I could just
all it is. Yeah,
I can see Lloyd in a Vegas
hotel. Boy, I had to say,
what the f is Stafford doing?
Yeah, exactly. And then
Stafford over on the yard.
I did a 250, 245. They both had to go
fucking
over.
Sean McVay.
That's what somebody said. And then
McVay's too added up for this shit, man.
Trying to run the clock out.
Yeah. You should sit him. There's no chance of winning. Yeah, all that stuff. It's like, no, that's not how it works. And then he throws that 4th pick, which is really funny. So I'm sure, people want.
He had 240. We needed 245.
Yeah.
Gut wrencher.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, that's funny.
Super excited for
gambling.
For the NFL kickoff on Sunday too.
No doubt. Who's Minnesota got?
I'm not a big Viking fan, but I feel like they kick off with Green Bay, so that'll be like a.
I think you're right. I thought you were a Viking fan.
Diehard 49ers.
49ers. That's right. Who they got?
Chicago.
That's a win.
Well, you know what? I thought that on Saturday. It was like the last thing I said on Saturday night, right? I was like, if my team loses in Chicago, I swear to God. You know,
be a tough start.
Now, yeah, that's how I felt.
This will be a tough start to the Trey Lance era too.
It will. I think everyone's kind of excited with this. I think they have one of the better rosters. I think the
Debo came back.
I mean, they've got great receivers: Debo, Ayuk, Kittle. Bosa's healthy, 100%. They've got
Jimmy
Warner
G's
in
still...
the middle. They took Charvarius Ward from Kansas City last year, so it's like they got a corner like they have, and then their running back. I mean, Louisiana running in the backfield.
Yeah, you got
Elijah Mitchell,
and Elijah
Ty
Mitchell.
Price and Elijah Mitchell. A lot of people don't know Mitchell was, I think, a 6th-round draft pick last year.
Yeah, he was an LSU commit for a while.
Yeah,
people don't know that.
Like he looked good. I know he set records. I think in the was that the
academics.
Played against him in high school.
D2 or whatever. I think he set the record for rushing yards in a career at UL. So
he's an animal, bro.
Yeah,
he's an animal.
I was happy. All this stuff they drafted Trey Sermon from Ohio State last year, and I'm thinking,
got rid of him.
This guy they're thinking is a steal. They got in the 6th round, and what is that league that UL plays in? Not
Sunbelt.
FCS.
No, it's FBS.
It's FBS. Yeah,
it's just
Sunbelt. Yeah, it's like Sunbelt. Yeah. He set the record for career rushing yards and stuff there. If I'm remembering my stats correctly. But that was
I think he played all 4 years. I think he started all 4 years at UL.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a stud.
Elijah Mitchell?
Yeah.
He day 1 starter, coach.
Gotta have him.
I mean, they had 2 running backs in that. They had Elijah Mitchell, and they had one more that was a pro. That was
he was 45, wasn't he? Didn't he have a weird jersey number?
Yes.
And he played all 4 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Their 2 running backs for a while with Elijah Mitchell and him. They were
loaded. And you can't now. You can't do that now. You're not going to find it. My biggest thought was, before you sign off or whatever, but this is what I want to know. We go 0-2 Saturday.
Oh.
You talking about losing to Southern?
Yeah.
Bro.
Really?
If we go 0-2, I mean, even after
he loses to Southern, they will be rumbling.
Blood.
I'm transferring to UL.
You know what I mean?
Blood.
I mean, it would never happen because you owe him $95 million. But I mean, people would be like,
how many?
I can't even imagine.
I'm transferring to UL.
I don't know if that.
Win and losses don't correlate to recruiting.
Okay.
Losses actually help recruiting in the sense of you can sell them you need you.
Oh wow.
You know, if you were here, it wouldn't happen.
Okay.
Type stuff. And, 16, 17, 18 years old, that's a hell of a stroke of an ego when you got Brian Kelly I telling you, I got to have you.
Yeah.
So
I just always wonder now because it's so easy to transfer. You know
what
I mean? And it's they don't have to sit out or anything. They just enter the pool. And so I'm like,
no, you got to play a game, bro. I mean, you got to play a game for sure.
Because I think that's where I was wondering. I said, man, is that where Boutte is heading?
Nah. See, like the deal with Boutte is he's got to have football this year.
Okay.
Because he wants to be a top 15 pick. He wants to be a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
And what he did on Sunday night will play him out of the first round, not the top 10.
Yeah.
So he's got to bounce back tomorrow, and he's got to be the best player next weekend against Mississippi State. He's got to make plays against Auburn, and then he doesn't have the luxury that Stingley and Jamar Chase did. And I know Stingley was hurt, but Stingley ultimately missed his entire third year of football, and he was the number 3 pick in the draft.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase decided himself, I'm not playing my third year of college football, and he was the 5th pick in the draft. Keyshawn could say, I'm not playing from here on out, and he would be a mid-second round pick at this point. He's playing to go get, I mean, Stingley's got a guaranteed $30 million contract. Jamar's got a guaranteed $25 million contract.
Yeah.
He wants that money.
Yeah.
You know, and to get that money, he has to play. And the only place that he can play right now is at LSU. And he knows that. You know, I mean,
That's good.
The concern on Keyshawn, I'm telling you, I get it this week, but he will silence the critics.
Yeah, I hope so.
He will silence the critics.
I was really excited for him. I think like most people at the end
Sure.
of last year.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it was play calling or him not able to get open or not have enough time.
Yeah, he just didn't make the plays.
You know.
For the first time at LSU since we've seen him play, he didn't make the plays when the ball hit him in the hands, and he didn't look like he was engaged by his body language.
Yeah.
You got one.
That's a big. Yeah.
You got one piece of evidence to that compared to 17 games of him performing, right? So at this point, I'm going to take the majority of the data and say that's more who Keyshawn is.
Yeah.
That's an outlying situation. He knows that if he continues to look and play like that, there's going to be owners and GMs that say, forget it. I'm just going to take the Addison kid from USC, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's got to perform. That's the thing about Keyshawn. That's why I'm betting on Keyshawn is because to get the money, he's got to play. You know, I mean, everybody, NIL money. NIL money's nice right now, but he's playing for NFL contract money. That's what he wants. And he's making good money as a junior in college. He's making more than a lot of us out here listening, you know, and actually, you know, hosting the podcast. I mean, he's making good money right now, but he's trying to play for another tax bracket.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's trying to go for top 5, top 10 draft pick money.
Got him going 13 right here to
13?
13.
Okay, so if you told him that this morning, I guarantee you he'd say that's outside of the guaranteed money I want. He wants top 10 guaranteed money.
Before the year started, I saw it 6, which would, and I think they projected that to the Jaguars, which would be brutal for him to have to go to that. You know,
like you said,
it might be better for him to go somewhere, you know, late.
I mean, maybe. You know, I'm kind of excited. You know, kind of pivot. Any of you guys watch Hard Knocks on HBO?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Is anyone jazzed for the Detroit Lions this year?
Yes,
Like,
we just talked about that.
You kind of want to be a Detroit Lion fan?
I am now.
Yeah. I just like the way that man has like built that team.
I know.
Dan Campbell.
Dan
Campbell.
Like, and I wish I could do that, brother. You know, like I wish I could call him brother with that thing. Got it. You know, yeah.
What about the 50 up downs?
Like that's insane.
You think you could do 50 up downs right now?
I think
50 is no.
I like what I like about it was like I felt like, first of all, I thought it was an excellent choice in the team that they chose. I thought HBO could have done a better job the first couple episodes because I feel like in years past I've gotten
more.
I've gotten more, and
I
I've
feel
been
like
like
that, too.
invested in players who are like on the bubble because then it makes that 4th episode like, oh man, I hope he doesn't get cut. You know,
I
like,
cried in that
Yeah.
last episode of all the cuts.
But so I think they waited a little too long to really kind of bring us into these players' lives of like where they came from and how like bad they want it. You know what I mean? And you know, kind of like that's a first round picks and kind of So I think that they could have done that, but that last episode, I thought
they made up for it there.
They made
I'm
up
a
for
huge
it.
Khalil Pimpleton fan now.
Me
No matter
too.
where he
I love
ends
the
up,
pimp.
I
Yeah.
love
And
him.
love the
like
pimp.
fantastic.
Love
Got a great
him.
smile.
Oh my
That's why I think he got
gosh,
picked
he's
up.
precious.
He's got a great attitude.
Great attitude.
Great attitude.
And
The
I
best
think that's
attitude.
that was just crazy about watching it. It's like it made all of us
No.
want to be part of that organization
Yes.
because it's like they're building it so correctly that
Yes.
you don't see it that way. You know,
I love Rodrigo.
Rodrigo comes from nowhere, and it's
Bro,
just
his-
like all
what about
those
his,
coaches
What about his
were.
jersey sale right now is the second highest in the
Highest.
team.
Is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Cool.
That's Hard Knocks.
And that was
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
was after Hutchinson, their first round draft.
Yeah, it was
pick.
after Hutchinson.
Yeah,
That's
Who was
right.
the other one?
Did you see
Craig
the, you see the
Reynolds?
president of the
Love
of the
him.
organization? He
With the
loved
dad.
it.
He's like, this is
It's like
great.
behind this guy.
I know exactly. Like, coach, I don't,
We really got it right.
I don't care what you
Workout
think.
guy?
This guy needs to play.
No.
That's right.
But that,
No, that's
gosh,
Amon
that was
Ross
so
St.
cool.
Brown.
It was, and then I can't wait to watch Arizona Cardinals within the season. Hard Knocks.
Yeah, that's going to be great.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, November
So,
9th, I think.
You know
is
who I
the
didn't
national
get?
The
finale.
weekend of the Bama game.
Yeah, who I
Yeah,
didn't get
wait.
anything of it,
No,
and
it's
I
November,
wanted to
right?
see.
Yeah, the week of the LSU
Oh yeah,
Bama game.
LSU Bama game. I only have A&M Bama in my head, like seared in my mind of that game.
What day
October
is it?
6th. Is that your birthday?
No, it's not October 6th. That's the day.
October 9th.
That's the day of the Woodlawn.
October 9th. Yeah, that's the Woodlawn thing.
Florida
Wait.
State has a first round
I thought
offensive
it's October
lineman on here.
15th.
Oh
No.
gosh.
Seriously?
No.
I'm looking
Come
at it.
on.
First round what?
First round offensive lineman, their offensive tackle, Robert Scott Jr.
Wow, good for him.
Going
good for
29
Florida
to
State.
the Chiefs.
Yeah.
They got him out 29 to the Chiefs.
Who did they have one of the Super Bowl?
Let me trigger the Florida State crowd real quick.
Bust.
He's fat and unathletic.
I wanted to see DJ Chark on Hard Knocks.
Yeah, me too, man.
Yeah, they didn't show him
What's
one
the
time.
deal?
Because he was, I liked him, and I thought he did. I mean, did awesome in Jacksonville's first year, and I think he had a little bit of injuries.
Yeah, he broke his ankle last year
in
against
the-
Cincinnati.
Yeah, and then quarterback stuff with Jacksonville, but it's like he's going there with the quarterback, and I think Amon-Ra on the other side, Hawkinson in the middle, like he might be set up. D Swift coming like that offense.
1 year deal too. Prove it. Prove it deal.
Yeah, so that might be like a nice situation for him. And
What date is that game?
The 8th, October 8th.
October 8th. That's the day LSU Tennessee.
Yeah.
Red River. It's Texas Oklahoma. Is that day?
Oh, this is
He was going to try to say
I tried
it.
to say Red River Shootout.
It's too much.
Dude, it's so hard to say Red River rivalry.
Yeah.
So I say shootout.
It's a tongue twister.
I'm not.
You can't.
They're not
Red
taking that
River
away
rivalry.
from me.
are you
It's a
doing
shootout.
anything big for the Mississippi State game?
Not anything big.
She's wearing Mikey's uniform, actually.
No
She
one
has
has
to go
gotten me a
full-
Mikey's uniform.
She has to go full
I'm not
red.
wearing Jack unless y'all
Are you
give
gonna
it
have
to
a
me.
tailgate?
Hey, you just hadn't seen it. We got it.
Okay,
You just hadn't
great.
seen it.
I'm ready.
You having a tailgate?
This should be great.
You know, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. Probably not. I would if
What
the
if
game
she just
was...
wears it like inside her house? Like I'm not coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
I wore it.
I'm not going to
No,
the
I
game.
would totally do it. I lost the
she's
bet.
doing it. Yeah.
I would do it.
She has to do
I like
it.
Not hiding from it.
Mississippi State games. Those are some
you.
Mississippi State, Ole Miss, and
Oh,
Florida.
well,
A
you
couple of
lost
my
me there.
favorite home games to watch.
I think we argued
Bama's
about
Bama.
this on Instagram.
I don't mess around with it. I end up stopping a carjacking from a meth head, like during Bama
What?
weekend one year. Yeah.
Stuck your finger in his booty hole.
Wait.
LSU.
It was Friday night. I was sitting on my stoop with my flops and
Cigarettes.
having a wine and everything. And we're drinking wine. I was
Flops
chatting
and
with my
wine.
neighbor,
Kid.
and all of a sudden this guy came hopping over the fence in our parking lot and ran. And the dog's starting to go crazy, and he's hiding behind this door now that he found.
Wait,
That
this is on your property?
This is on our property, and the dog's barking, and he throws a whole paint can because of the flood. There was some reno going on, so he threw a paint can, and my neighbor's freaking out, this and that. He hops over into
The
the
crackhead throws a paint can at the
at
dog?
the dog, yeah, to get the dog away. He hops the fence over into the Northgate apartment complex that was over on State Street at the time.
Oh, okay. No doubt.
No, this is
okay.
making
I was about to
sense.
say, technically, okay, all right,
It's
all
all
right,
making
all
sense.
right, all right.
So all of a sudden we're like,
I got ants chasing me, man.
What? We said, man, this is really weird. So we went back to kind of drinking and chatting this Friday before Bama. All of a sudden, this guy comes jumping over the fence, running through our parking lot again, and I'm thinking,
Fuck.
yeah, I'm like, what in the hell?
This
And
is good
so-
shit we
Must be a
got.
Tide fan.
She just stole some. She goes in and pulls out, she gets her piece. I'm like, this is getting too nuts for me. And so I'm wondering. So I said, well, what is this guy doing? He's he's clothed, thankfully, but it's like that streaker kind of
Yeah.
thing where I'm like, what is he? And I go and I walk out. And now I'm on State Street and I'm
In
like
my
watching
flops.
him run
In your
through the
flip-flops.
alleys. And so I run up State Street towards the light of Highland.
Sun up, sun down here.
Sundown, dark.
Wow.
And so there's traffic, of course, Friday night getting into the game for tailgate and everything. So traffic is stopped on State Street. I'm right across, just before you get to that circle, okay, right across from that, like Canes and stuff.
The hub.
And I'm sitting there watching it. I'm like, oh man, I don't see him. He like disappeared to the alleys. That's nuts. All of a sudden, he emerges out of the darkness.
Oh my God, dude.
Grabs a dude on a bicycle, whips him off. And decides he's going to try and steal this motorcycle. And I'm watching.
motorcycle?
A motorcycle. So I think, and this guy's like, what in the hell's happened? You know, and I'm like,
Right.
you're getting carjacked.
Taking your shit.
Well, I run over and I grab the guy and I body slam him.
On the
You
bike?
did not.
Yeah. On
The bike crashes on the
method.
street?
Yeah. And the guy's like, what the hell's going on? I'm like, this guy's trying to steal your bike, right? You know? So he
Pay
finally,
attention.
yeah, so he goes to pick his bike up. I get off the guy because I'm like, I think I'm invested a little bit more than I wanted.
Is the news here yet?
You're coming with me, buddy.
What was your end
He
game?
goes back to try and to get the bike, and he then tackles the owner of the bike.
No.
And so then I put the guy in a headlock to try and get him off. The method starts biting the bike owner, and that's when finally the cops start showing up because I think people in the street.
We're like, dude,
Oh
something's
my
happening.
You know what I
Some
mean?
Alabama fans doing bath salts.
Or whatever. So they get him cuffed and everything. I give my statement to the police, went back, grabbed and I look down and it's like, shit, I'm still wearing my Birkenstocks.
Yeah.
Like all that in my
Didn't lose the shoes.
That's
Wow.
so amazing.
What
That's
a play,
crazy.
bro.
Man.
That is
I don't like
crazy.
messing with
That's
Bama
brave.
weekend.
Rouge, baby.
Like Bama weekend, it just brings out.
Bama weekend in Baton
That's
Rouge.
brave,
Yeah.
though.
That's
That's
those
brave.
are I did it once, and now it's like when it's in town, I just stay inside.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea.
What made you want to continue to follow him? I just would have been like, whoa, that was weird.
Good Samaritan. Well, first something happened.
Yankee, bro.
There's a reason
Yeah.
why my neighbor went and got like a piece. Like there was something on it. And so I was like,
There's
I
a
need to,
reason.
You
like-
know something I don't know.
yeah.
here.
I had to like de-escalate the situation, and I'm like, what did he do to get a gun pulled? And so I'm kind of watching it, and then also just to kind of make sure that because I think. He had hopped over, and there had been car alarms, and people saying, thinking they
He was
were
causing
breaking
a
things.
disturbance.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
You don't have
So
to
I
do
wanna-
much to get a gun pulled in Baton Rouge.
No,
so
I mean,
really nothing.
But it's like a.
Do you think
Yeah,
he would
that's
have
pretty
gotten
crazy.
the bike if you weren't there? Do you think this guy would have been totally
Yeah.
Yeah,
mystified?
he thanked me. He bought me a 6-pack like a few
Aw.
days later because he did live close by and he saw
That's
me walking
nice.
like to school and stuff, and he was like,
Yo, bro, hero.
Yeah, he did.
Rev it up. Yeah, thank you.
He was like,
Sandaled hero.
yeah, it was pretty nuts.
My Jesus.
Yeah, football guy.
Right.
I mean, it was dark too. I was actually
That's
just
brave.
surprised I
That
was
was
kind of
brave.
there.
Wow, dude.
Well, good Samaritan.
I
If
know,
I
but-
was being carjacked, I want someone to kind of help
Yeah.
out or whatever.
Yeah.
I would want you.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want me. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, like you said,
Extra set of
yeah.
hands. You got it over. You're good. Let me
you
know
look like you got it.
Yeah, tap me in.
I mean, poor guy. It's like it's almost like getting sucker punched. Like, guy did. He was probably like really. I mean, he was genuinely confused, right? Because
Yeah.
all of a sudden you're on your bike and you're waiting at a red light, then you get tossed upside down,
oh my God.
and you kind of get up and you look, and it's like there's
Who's this crazed
Yeah,
man?
There's a crazy man, and now he's pinned on the ground you know
By
what I
another
mean?
crazed
Like,
man.
By some dude drinking wine and Birkenstocks.
High as a kite.
And the cop was like,
What happened?
the cop's like, so you? And I was like,
hang
yeah.
on. What?
And it was like a Trader Joe's box wine night, so my mouth is probably like red. You know what I mean? I smell like wine. It's Friday night.
I wasn't driving.
Yeah.
It's like clearly.
It's not my
I
bike.
said, yeah,
It's not my bike.
How'd you get here? I said, let's not ask too many questions.
Well, this guy wants to press charges.
I have no keys or nothing on me.
Yeah, I'm in my flip flops.
I've been my flip, yeah. But that was a wild
That's a
time.
story.
Was he little?
Which one?
The crack man.
Hey, I mean, I don't know what he was on the police were like. I mean, he's hopped up on something.
Yes.
You know what I
So
mean?
you got to watch
I
crackhead
watched
strength
it.
too.
Oh my goodness! I mean, that stuff, all that, like, yeah, probably not a smart idea on my end. You know, I think the cops were like,
Yeah, he got away with one here.
Not sure why you got into this situation here, bro.
The bike owner's getting checked out for rabies, you know, because he was getting bit and stuff like that. And they're like, I got to give him a shot. No, the medic had
got my reward? Yeah, here it is. Don't ever do that again.
Because, no,
Did you get a shot?
No. I said, no, nothing was nowhere near that.
Yeah, I don't want to know.
Yeah. I said, I do know that much. If I put my, 250-pound body on his back,
something's going down.
Yeah, he's not going to, he's squirm, but
you got a dart in your neck, man.
That's my only move.
Jeez, man, add a title to our guy. Not only is he a thespian, a handyman, he's a good Samaritan.
Hero.
Josh the Butcher, bro. Stories just keep coming every week. Get your Butcher Bundle. You can log online to iversteinfarms.com and get on the Butcher Bundle delivery route. You can also pick up your tailgate eats over at Iverstein's Perkins Crossing Shopping Center over there on Perkins Road.
Yes.
Pick them up.
Do
Foodie
it.
Friday. And as always, for the whole crew over here, hope you had a good week. Thanks for joining us. Hit that like button, share button, comment button, as we'll be back with you here on Monday. Don't forget Mikey Matuk will be with you 4:30 this afternoon, getting you set up for a home football game over at Uncle Earl's. Stop in and see him today. 4:30 to 6 over at Uncle Earl's. Hit that like button. Compliments of Go Chevrolet.